Welcome to Waterdeep Anatomy here on Girls Run These Worlds. I am your dungeon mistress, Michelle Rapp, and with me is my collection of clerics. Hello, everybody say hello, collection of clerics.
Hi.
Hi.
Collection of
My
clerics.
little cleric collection. And we are here today to regale you with some amazing medical drama set in the maybe more fantastical world of Faerun, but we're going to give you a little bit of a peek behind the curtain to see the people who make all these adventures possible. Speaking of the people who make all these adventures possible, let's go ahead and give a quick introduction to the rest of our cast. I'm going to throw it over to Samara. What's up? Who are you? What are you doing
I'm
here?
Samara. You can find me at the Singing Sam on Twitter and most other social media. I think that's all we're doing for our intros.
Yeah, because we're going to find out who you are on the show in short order. Next is Shears. What's up, Shears?
Hello, everyone. My name is Bloodthread Shears. Shears for short. My pronouns are they, them.
Wonderful. Minnie, how's it going?
Hey, pretty good. My name is Arminia. I go by Minnie, and you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Stalwart Ursa.
Cool. Natalie, what's up?
Hi, everyone. I'm Natalie Putum. I'm a professional game master over at Charm Person Games. You can follow us at Charm Person Game on Twitter, or you can follow me at Natalie_20 spelled out on Twitter.
And last but certainly not least, the ever wonderful Jay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nala or Jay. I go by both. I use they, them pronouns, and you can find me on Twitter at NalaWoo and at Nala Draws if you'd like to see my art.
And they do a lot of great art. I forgot to actually mention who the heck I am and where you can find me on the internet. Michelle Rapp, you can find. I am a professional DM as well. I like to do stuff like this, which is very silly. You can find me mostly on Twitter at Kiln Fiend Potter, where I talk mostly about D&D, Magic the Gathering, and my cats. I've got two of them. They're my angels, my darlings, and I would sacrifice many organs for them. With that in mind, let us begin our journey into Waterdeep Anatomy. It's actually a pretty sunny, beautiful day on the as the sun rises, and it's a little bit peeking over the horizon. It's a little bit past dawn. Nothing particularly all that ominous in that skyline. The clouds are fluffy as little sheep in the fields. As dawn breaks over the horizon, we see the city, the resplendent cosmopolitan city of Waterdeep in Faerun. It is a massive city filled with people of all kinds. We've got, of course, your basic human. We've also got some elves. We've got orcs. We've got a couple of mind flayers here and there, gnomes, dwarves, just lots of people dotting the streets, doing their own minding their own business and doing business with each other, both legal and illegal. We've got some merchants. We've got people trying to hire others within those taverns. Groups of adventurers wander the streets looking for a tavern in which they can sit at, maybe pick up a new adventure or two. Of course, the one institution, however, perhaps less lauded than, say, the university, the Blackthorn Academy, places like that, a little bit more flashy, a little bit more showy. This is, in fact, one of the backbone institutions of not just Waterdeep, but this entire region, the illustrious Waterdeep General Hospital, a 500-year-old institution that stretches what we would almost consider to be a Manhattan city block. This is where the healthcare and the well-being of the denizens of Waterdeep and the local surrounding area depend on. This is a storied and highly reputable hospital where every day people go in to discover what it is that's wrong with them, to try to find something that cures what ails them, and is stocked with amazing people who help manage to sort that out for them. With that in mind, you hear a disembodied voice start to narrate, a gentle femme-sounding voice that begins to say, "In life, only two things are certain: death and taxes. And even then, within the huge cosmopolitan city of Waterdeep, the latter can be negotiable. This is where we come in. They say becoming a cleric is a calling, like literally. A god or some other force reaches out to you and appears in a shower of gold, a shower of silver, or sometimes even a shower of fish. Your choice. But what makes being a cleric amazing is that we make everything possible. The fury of a barbarian, the hunter's mark of a ranger, or the counterspell of a wizard. That can only happen if you're upright and you're alive. That's the real truth of our jobs. And here at Waterdeep General Hospital, at least, that's what we keep telling ourselves. And the camera whooshes in through the ER doors, past the queue of just dozens of people of all shapes and sizes and all various bits of and all bits of medical triage, into a room where we see Dr. Rowan Burglas hunched over a patient who seems to have what looks like a small treasure chest stuck in their mouth and partially down their esophagus, lying on a bed, surrounded by nurses of various species and various expertises. There are a motley of magical devices surrounding this particular patient, and you are hunched over just with a couple of forceps and a couple of other implements, just trying your best to save this patient. What is going on in your mind as you're attempting to get this thing out of this patient, who
I
is a
think
human man in his 50s?
I think, as usual, when what is clearly an adventurer comes into my triage, I think back to the many, many adventurers that I was once a part of, and all of the ridiculous, stupid things that they did that I then had to fix for them, and how frustrating that is, and how am I still doing that in this new position? Well, no longer new, but different position, different phase of my life, as I'm wrenching the forceps open, trying to work this treasure chest out of this man's mouth. Of course, none
Describe
of
to
this
us,
shows
yeah.
on her face.
Describe
On
to
my
us what
face.
Dr. Rowan Virgos looks like.
Dr. Rowan Verglas is a 6 foot tall elven woman with long, blue tinted white hair that's pulled back very severely into a bun. She wears glasses perched on the end of her nose, usually, but as she's perhaps forearms deep in this particular patient, they've since been pushed up onto her head as she sinks into her work. She has dark, inky black eyes, and very severe bone structure to her face and body. And that's Dr. Rowan.
Yeah, Dr. Rowan, you've got your forearms pretty much wrenched into this man's mouth. They've definitely had to put him under sedation in order to make sure that he's going to not necessarily be too traumatized by the situation at hand. A dwarven nurse next to you says, "All right, doctor, looks like the pulse is holding still. It's holding ready. Do you think we're going to get this mimic out of his mouth?"
We always get out what we need to get out. Someone brace me, and I try
All
and
right. Yeah, there's another an orc nurse comes up to you and offers their arms, their strong arms at the ready. Whatever you need to
great.
do, doctor.
You're always there when I need you.
Of
And
course. You're the best damn doctor in this hospital.
as I leverage myself using the arms of this nurse at my side, I try and slip one of my arms underneath the mimic and try and manually pry out this mimic.
All right. I'm going to need you to make a dexterity check for me, please.
All right.
First roll of the session.
Ooh, 19.
19. Wonderful. You remember from your times catering to your adventuring party, make sure that people stay upright and alive, that mimics, once they start doing other things, get kind of squishy. You manage to slip your hand past the hardened, roughened wooden surface, quote unquote, of this mimic, and into its more malleable bits, and so you're able to maneuver your hand into what is a more muscled part, and you get a good grip on that whole situation. Um, you start pulling this tiny, it's actually kind of a baby mimic almost, really, out of this person's mouth. And at that point, the dwarven nurse next to you, monitoring this person's pulse and heart rate, just yells really loudly, "We're losing him! We're losing him! He's losing consciousness, and the heart rate is going down. The heart rate is going down. We're gonna need some assistance."
And as I'm doing this, I call over my shoulder, have Dr. Stumbleduck at the ready.
Okay, all right, and then we'll do. Of course, doctor. The orc nurse turns to yet another nurse standing there. This time, a young elf, only about maybe 100, definitely still a rookie. Turns and grabs her speaking stone and yells into it, "Paging Dr. Stumbleduck! Paging Dr. Stumbleduck to the ER right now!" Dr. Stumbleduck, you feel the speaking stone at your side vibrate, and a little voice comes out in a slightly tinny manner, like it's at the bottom of a well. But you do hear that you are being paged.
Okay.
What are you doing right now?
I think Dr. Stumbleduck is in the break room. I think she had just like finished laying out her little meal. Like she had like a bowl of ramen, like a little cup of ramen, like a soda. And she just opened it up, and it was about to like tuck in, and she hears this like, ugh.
And what describe to us what Dr. Stumbleduck looks like?
So Dr. Stormy Stumbleduck is a gnome. She's very tiny. She's got purple and blue streaked hair. She's in scrubs. She has on these very fancy boots covered in lightning bolts that don't quite match her outfit. And when that starts, she pulls the laces on both of her boots and takes off with her boots of speed, rushing toward the OR.
You take off on your boots of speed. As soon as you do, another doctor grabs a cart and runs up next to you. This is another colleague of yours, Dr. Brownstone, who is another human. He pushes his dreads out of his hair and he says, "Dr. Stumbleduck, you doing okay? I'm just grabbing the cart just in case."
Oh yeah, it's a lovely day, you know.
Do you want? Yeah, lovely day. How are you doing so far?
Oh, I'm doing great. You know, I could really use a ride if you want. My legs aren't quite as long as yours.
Oh yeah, get on here.
And I think she hops on the cart.
You get on the cart, and then Dr. Brownstone, wearing, all of you wear the most incredibly comfy, but also very fast shoes. But the best that an orthopedic cobbler nearby can supply. And he rushes down into the ER past legions of flustered nurses, a couple of flirting residents, and a cadre of interns. This is their first day on the job, and they just look around, seeing a gnome on a cart with the human doctor just sprinting down the hallway. And then Dr. Rowan, you are trying your best to maintain your grip on this baby mimic down this man's throat as the doors burst open. And I need you to make how you get the feeling that with just another twist and a pull, you could get this thing out of this man's mouth and down his esophagus. Would you like to make a strength check or a dexterity check?
Ooh. New character, new stats.
No worries.
Let's make another dex check.
All right, go ahead and give that to me.
Fully ignoring the dropping heart rate with my focus fully on removing the object from this man's throat, I roll a dirty 20.
You roll a dirty 20. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to make you roll a medicine check for it because all of you are clerics and you would know this. But if you're going to bring him back to life, not bring him back to life, but bring him back into a stable state, they're going to need to breathe, and they're not going to be able to breathe with a baby mimic down their throat. So with a pull, almost like resting a cork out of a bottle, like a very big cork, you pull this thing out, and it makes a crying noise, almost like you're in the OB department, just like the person, just like it's like making a little baby, like, yeah, as you pull it out. And this, even unconscious, this man just like coughs, is just like, and then goes very, very still. As at that very moment, Dr. Brownstone and his cart with Dr. Stormy on top of it bursts in through the doors. Dr. Stormy, you see in front of you your colleague, Dr. Rowan, holding what looks like a half chest, half mimic, the patient with the magical beeping apparatus, like slowing tremendously. And you see in front of you what you are here to do. You know what you got to do. So describe to me how you go about saving this person's life.
Dr. Stumbleduck kind of bounds on top of the table. And she's like, "Hey, Rowan, how you doing?" And rubs her hands together. And it's like, "Clear!" And puts her hands.
All right, I'm going to need you to give me, what is the best? I think a medicine check, unless you want to burn a spell slot.
No,
There's a
let's
spell
do a
slot that
medicine
you have
check.
for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have good medicine, so I hope I do.
I hope all of you do.
That is a 27.
All right. You shock him. You know precisely how much voltage to use, and you shock this person's heart back into functioning properly. You looked at the baby mimic, and in a split second you understood, oh, if they couldn't breathe, they probably weren't able to get the oxygen necessary to really fuel the rest of their body. So you shocked that back into them. He takes a shuddering gasp, and then the magical pulse tracker starts beeping again. This thing, by the way, just looks like one of those giant glass orbs, and instead of a just like a line that pulses through, you see basically just an emanation of magical purple, like, dots sort of just emanate from the center in rhythm to the patient's heartbeat. So yeah, you've definitely brought this person back from the brink of not being with us anymore, of maybe needing a trip down to the diamond supply closet for the revivify spell.
Yeah, and I think Stormy like exhales and it's like another mimic shaped into like a turkey leg or something.
Yeah.
Didn't get the full story.
The doctor, the orcish nurse, looks at all of you and just says, well, from the chart, looks like this particular one came in. He's not an adventurer. He just, he got really drunk, and this was a dare. Some adventurers brought this back, thought it was cute, and they said that they gave him a few gold pieces if he could swallow the whole thing.
He got his gold pieces then.
Well, they said that the people out in the waiting room said that he had to eat the whole thing, so I don't really know, but either way, he's still with us.
Cool. We'll verify, make sure he gets his gold. And I think Stormy like pats him, like I'm picturing he's still knocked out, but just pats him
He's
on the
still
cheek
knocked
and
out.
jumps off.
He's knocked out with
the
a
bed.
gnome on top of him. Fantastic. So with that, you manage to, your work here is done, and you know on your schedule you've got a moment to head over to fill out a couple of your other duties as a living gnomish battery. And so Dr. Brownstone looks at you and says, like, well done. Well done. And the orcish nurse looks at you and says, Dr. Stormy Stumbleduck, you are the best damn doctor in this hospital. We would fall apart without you.
Oh, don't say that. Rowan's right here. She's great.
She's also the best damn doctor in this hospital, and we would never be able to function without you or her.
I know.
The dwarven nurse looks at you and says, all right, so should we just put this in this bag of holding, the medical bag of holding, just so, we'll have it
kind of cute.
It should be disposed of. Things like these are fairly dangerous.
Fair. I'll prepare the medical bag of holding. So just give us a sec, and they go over to the corner, pull out a couple of white bags with the Waterdeep General Hospital seal on them. These are disposable, sanitized bags of holding meant for situations such as this. And she holds it out and says, "All right, I'm ready. Whenever you'll pop that in."
I drop it in.
Wonderful. It squalls one more time, reverting to its true mimic shape as it does so. The dwarven nurse with a practiced hand ties the bag closed and says, "All right, I'll get this over to, I guess, the people who decide whether or not to dispose of mimics humanely or just let them free. I think we've got kind of a shelter situation, don't we?"
From what I've heard,
Yeah,
rehabilitation a little bit.
A nice farm upstate.
probably. Yeah, there's a nice farm upstate, somewhere on the Sword Coast. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And so she puts it in a little bin and then just like wheels the bin away. The orcish nurse like just sheds a tear at the medical miracle that's just happened, and says, Doctor Road, I think you can probably make the rounds now that we're done here. I'll patch this one up. Puts
Very
a
good, thank you.
big orcish hand on both your shoulder and Dr. Stormy's shoulder, or back, as it were. You are a gnome, and just says, "You're just amazing. Two of you, just inspirational," and starts to basically tuck all the bits, like just make sure that this patient is ready and stabilized, so that way they can be released at a proper time in about a couple of hours from now. Another nurse goes out to deliver the news, actually turns to Dr. Rowan and says, like, "Would you like me to go ahead and tell the friends about what happened?"
Please, I do everything I can to avoid family.
I understand. All right, I'll take care of it then. Dr.
you.
Brownstone looks at you, Dr. Stormy, and says, do you need to ride anywhere else, or
Oh, my
you
lunch!
good?" Oh, okay. Sure. Gets back on the cart and he wheels you back at a more sedate pace over to the break room. We pan away from Dr. Stormy Stumbleduck on her cart of triumph, or cart ride of triumph, down a little bit further, and up a floor or two, to a quieter wing. It really is quite insulated against most noises in here because the surgeons here really need to focus. They really need to make sure that there are no distractions, that they get everything just right. We enter upstairs into what looks like the theater section, where we see a host of interns and resident doctors just pressed up against the glass, watching Dr. Zenith Parr at their latest, doing their latest like amazing medical masterpiece on the hapless patient below. One gnome turns to another. The gnome is on a step stool and just says, "The way that they just managed to open that up and extract the gin like that was just amazing. I can't even. You don't even learn that in school." And then another elf, this time a wood elf, just shakes their head. Their braids kind of rattle against each other, and they say, they don't. Dr. Zenith made that one up. Wrote a whole paper on it. Yeah, I just can't. How do they manage to publish every single year? That's just absolutely absurd. And a large Goliath in the back just shakes their head again and says, "That's why they're the goddamn best doctor in this hospital. We wouldn't be able to function without them." And on that note, the camera pans down to you, Dr. Zenith Parr, as you are operating. Actually, you're finishing up a surgery in which you had to take out an entire djinn from this human who
What
has
is the
made
word
a
you're
compact.
saying? Djinn?
Djinn? Yeah, the djinn, like DJINN, like a genie.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, they were it was a situation where they were cohabitating, and it was just not working out for the human because
I
hosting
see.
a primordial, like, magical being inside your very corporeal person is perhaps not the best situation. So you, through a matter of a lot of diplomacy, a lot of very fine scalpel work, were managed to separate the two. And the djinn is now sulking in a basket off to the
Yeah, I was
side.
just gonna say one of those like metal containers.
Just like it's like a medical surgical container, like when you remove, bits from people in surgery. It's just sitting in like a metal tub, a very large
Absolutely.
metal tub, and it's just sitting there like pouting at you. Their skin is incredibly it's almost dizzying to look at. It's a combination of reds and purples and blues all swirling together, as they look at you and they sniff and said, "I think we had a perfectly fine arrangement. This is what happens when you choose mortal partners." Ugh.
Dr. Parr just kind of chuckles softly, but pays the djinn no more attention as Z begins to close up on the brain of the person that I'm working on.
Mhm.
I think there's like some interns or like residents who are also assisting on this procedure, and um, as
Yeah,
I do
there's like
so,
there's a couple
I'm
of interns who are just looking at you with hero worship, just naked hero worship.
and I'm just quietly murmuring under my breath the different steps as I do them. I think the doctors who work with me are unsure as to whether or not I am doing that in order to teach those around me what I am doing, or if it's just something I do. I don't think it is known. Uh, but yeah, I'm just working on that, and I think at some point as I'm like doing some stitches, I just wave a hand to tell one of the other assistants to take the djinn away and out. Because I'm
The
assuming that Jin just keeps making quips. I'm like, out,
the
out.
Jin is being amazingly passive aggressive
Oh,
since
yeah.
you just excised them from their partner's body. Like they had a real hold on the cerebellum, and you just very, maybe not the most politely, but you very delicately extracted them from their partner's brain. And the Jin is sitting there just being like, "Yeah, fine, whatever. I'm 2,000 years old. I've seen it done better." God,
Nope. Out.
it's so
Out.
hard. It's just, look, this is what happens when you swipe right as they're being wheeled out of the surgery
Wow.
of the theater. And the interns definitely had a little bit of a one of those like under your breath arguments. No, you wheel them out. No, I want to stay. Do you know how many opportunities you get to watch Dr. Parr actually like close up a patient? That's amazing. Yeah, well then you do it. No, you do fine. I'll do your rounds for a week. Okay, fine. And so they wheel out the very passive aggressive Jin sitting in this metal tub. As you finish stitching up and just keep making sure that this patient is definitely ready for their bed rest and for recuperation for the next few months. Um, is this in fact a procedure that you've done before, or is this like a new thing that you've had to improvise given the situation at hand?
I think I've done stuff similar to this, like other kinds of possession or cohabitation of the same body with similar things like other spirits. I don't know if Dr. Parr has ever done it with a djinn specifically. So this might be the first time for that, which is why everyone is like really interested in it. But I think I've been studying the brain for quite some time and have developed techniques on how to do this. And I think I had to improvise a little bit with how to do it with this particular kind of spirit. But yes, I do think I've done stuff like this before, but not
Gotcha.
this specifically.
Why don't you give me a dexterity check to see how well you're able to stitch up this patient and replace their bits? You okay, Jay? Oh, I can't hear you actually.
I muted myself by accident. Haha.
Oh, no worries. It's all good.
Straight dex check or a specific skill?
If you want to make if you can, I can see maybe like if you want to do an like a manual acrobatics check or something like that, like your hands are just moving in strange, interesting, elvish ways in order to make this possible. I would certainly buy that argument.
Acrobatics? Okay. Ouch.
Or
It's still
athletics.
good. Oh, athletics is worse. So we're gonna do acrobatics. That's still a 19, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, you manage your hands just move in a weird Cirque du Soleil kind of a way in order to make this really just like the people in the operating theater up in the observation area are just like, what did they just do? What did they just do? I don't know. And the golem in the back, the Goliath in the back says, well, I think it's pretty clear from where I'm standing. Like they just did this with their thumb and this with their other thumb, and then they did a couple things with their ring fingers, and the entire observation room just turns around, looks at this Goliath, and is just like, "You're not helping, Doctor Brimstone. You're not helping." It's like, just telling it how it is. Camera pans back on you as you put in the final couple of sutures, and you're done. And the entire room bursts into applause. People with blood and other things on their gloves, just like, "Bravo, Dr. Parr! You did it again! Amazing!"
I think in my usual fashion, I just smile softly at the compliments coming in
Oh,
from
behind your mask.
everyone. Yes, a soft
Yeah.
smile. You can see the crinkle in my eyes behind the mask. Dr. Parr stands about 5'10", and has a beautiful, like a medium to navy blue skin. They are an astral elf. Their skin is spattered with glowing star-like freckles. And as the camera follows me out, because I pretty much just abruptly leave after my surgeries so that everyone else can clean up. It's not my job.
Nope, it's
and
not your job.
Nope. And as soon as I'm
Nope.
out of the room, I take off my mask and I start, gloves, surgical gown, all that off, and I'm washing my hands. And you can see Dr. Parr's teeth are, I have sharp canines in my mouth, and dark lipstick and dark eyeshadow. And I believe it's the sclera of the eyes are also black, and my irises are glowing yellow.
Amazing.
And my hair is what I styled my wig to be. Although it's probably pulled back for the surgery or under a cap or something. But yeah, and after I'm done cleaning up, I am going to walk leisurely back up to whatever office space I have as
You
a
have, yeah,
attending surgeon here.
there's an office space, but one of the interns who has caught your eye looks at you and says, "Hey, that was an amazing surgery. You were just incredible. You were just so incredible."
Is there something you want, doctor? Out with it.
I just wanted to let you know that Jared stepped away from the diamond supply closet.
Who, for context, who is Jared?
Jared is the guard. The guard who guards the diamond supply closet for the removed by spell.
And who is this intern to me?
This intern is a pretty young thing. She is a human, stands about like 5'6", and she's got curves in all the right places. Wearing a fetching pair of scrubs and or like robes, scrub robes, and
Scrub robes.
scrub robes, and also a just like a white coat, and just looks at you kind of like, and is
Question
aware of
for
your
the GM.
reputation. Yeah.
Question for the GM: Have me and this intern had relations before, or am I just getting hit on?
The latter. She's new.
Ah.
She's been here for a month or so, and
Oh,
she's
a month.
definitely been
Wow.
eyeing
Okay.
you. She's definitely
Hmm.
been eyeing you.
I'm gonna leave this up to chance. Give me a moment.
Yeah, totally.
I'm just rolling for myself. Okay, so I will just kind of stop mid hallway and like turn around because I think I was already turning to leave and she was just following behind me. And I stop and I turn around and I look down at her and I just say, what exactly are you asking for, doctor?
Her face grows red and she gets really flustered. She's like, I just wanted to chat. Maybe this isn't a good time. I'm just gonna go ahead and go. You should go. Anyway, it was good to see you. And she just disappears. It's one of those Looney Tunes moments where it's just a puff of smoke.
And like as she's like leaving so quickly, I just call after her because I think I do know who this doctor is. And I think this intern is on my service tomorrow. And so I'll just say at her retreating
Yeah,
back.
Dr. Peachtree.
Yeah. Wait, is this doctor named Petrie, like a petri dish?
No,
Is
Peach
that
Tree. But let's make that into the pun it is.
Yeah, all right. Oh god, that's really funny. Okay. I just like look at Dr. Petrie's retreating back and I just call after her. See you tomorrow. And I turn around and keep walking.
All right. Yeah, you keep walking back to your office. Where you're describe to me what your office looks like. Is it fairly barren? Is it you have definitely have a couple of
Do,
skylights.
do I have my own office space?
Of course you have your own office space.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, of course. That was a silly question.
You're the head of surgery.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I was just head of
You're a
neurosurgery.
celebrity. You're head of
Oh, okay, cool,
your
okay.
specialty is you're head of neurosurgery. My apologies.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah. So my office space, I think Dr. Parr's office is very clean and very modern. As far as modern can go in this fantasy world, um, I think my tastes are very much like I love yellow, yellow ochre. I think there's like a sofa, very like fantasy, like you take fantasy aesthetics and then mix it with mid-century modern, and I think that's what my office looks like. It's like autumnal colors plus like, or actually it's more jewel tones with glass and like shiny metal and like all that kind of aesthetics kind of all mixed together. There's of course the bookshelf of like all of the fancy like coffee table books that aren't really meant to be read but they're there to like for show. uh there's a couch, um and a coffee table. There's a coffee machine in the corner with like tea and coffee and like it's an espresso machine. That's like the good stuff. And my desk is very very neat. Do we have computers? What's the tech level here, Michelle, lovely GM?
Tech is basically like we have computers, but it's magic.
Okay, cool. So I have a magical computer, whatever that is, on my desk, and then all my papers are organized very nicely. I think I have a scribe or someone who takes care of a lot of my paperwork for me, since that is what
Yeah, you do
medical
have
scribes do.
you do have like basically a tiny a vermling essentially who
A,
basically
a,
helps you file.
a wormling, like a baby
Yeah, a
dragon?
vermling, like a baby dragon. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. What's the dragon's name?
What do you want your dragon's name to be?
Ooh, I threw that ball at you, and you threw that right back at me.
It's your secretary. You tell me.
I will get back to you on that.
No worries. It's all good.
Cool. but yeah, that's my office space.
I will
Oh, and
propose
I definitely have
scru-
window shades. This is
Okay.
the important bit. I have window shades that close.
Yes, you have blackout shades.
Oh
It's
yeah.
great. I'm gonna propose Nimbus for the name of your dragon, but you can definitely change that if you want.
I am shooting that down only because I think of Harry Potter and we're doing
No
something else.
worries. Totally. That's totally fine.
How about that's also Harry Potter. I hate this.
I know, I'm sorry.
Um, 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 how about Cirrus? Like after the
Cirrus?
cloud?
Yeah, Cirrus.
Yeah?
And
Okay.
Cirrus is this light blue with like pearlescent scales.
Oh,
They
that's so
they
pretty.
see you walk in and they just make like a little merp and then they make a little burp and then they just resume filing. You get one of these because you're the head of neurosurgery. And
Good. Yes, this is
you're a hot
what my
shot.
budget. This is what my budget goes towards.
It's what your budget. You have your own personal secretary who's a wormling.
So I think I just like close the door, like draw the shades, and I just collapse on this sofa because I think this surgery took like at least 10 hours. This was a long one.
Definitely. 5 of those hours were just spent negotiating with this.
I know, I was so done by the end. Yeah, but that's what I do.
Amazing. So yeah, you lie down on your couch. The blackout curtain, the blinds are there, and directly below your office, we see the camera sink down through the floor. Is what looks like a really spacious, beautifully appointed gym. Almost. It's got polished wood floors, brass finishings. You see a couple of balance beams. There's some large leather balls, like medicine balls, as well as like a mirror. There's some mirrors, so it's like almost like a dance studio, Pilates studio meets a gym, but the vibe is very, very zen. And at the center, you see this amazing half Goliath, half orc doctor come out with this gorgeous prosthetic leg in their hands as they walk towards a young elf who has lost their right leg, and she's this really, really young, only about 50, young girl, and she is with her parents, two high elves, who are comforting her as she holds on to what looks like a stuffed dragon in her arms, and she looks up at you and says, "Is that my new leg?"
It absolutely is your new leg, and I made sure that it was heat resistant so you can get those dragon rides in.
Her mouth falls open. She is this incredibly cute little like Pollyanna looking elf girl. And then she like basically she looks at you and she blushes and she does that cute little kid thing where she buries her face into her stuffy and then looks back up at you and then buries her face again like with a big grin. And her one of her dads looks at you and says, "So I thank you so much, doctor. I know that this is incredibly. I know that your queue must the line for this is incredibly long, and I just know that it's. I just don't know what to say. Honestly, this is really going to change everything for Lyra here."
As long as the fires are lit in the embers of my kiln, I will continue to make as many of these as I can. You're absolutely welcome. And she says this as she kneels down to kind of get a little bit more of an approachable height because she is about 7'2".
Yes, she is 7'2", and this tiny elf girl is she's the size of a human. I think like 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you bend down, and tell me, what does this leg look like, Dr.
I
Cedillo?
think I'm gonna say that what color is her stuffy?
Her stuffy is it's a copper dragon.
Okay. So I'm gonna say that it's actually kind of gonna be matching her stuffy because I believe she probably brought that in for her initial like consult. And I took care to notice that that maybe was perhaps a color that she really resonates with. So I made sure that everything was of the finest copper that I could find that was heat resistant. And I also kind of did some metallic wing decal in like an ember metal along the leg, along the calf specifically.
Mhm. Yeah, and the the way as a forge cleric, you oftentimes clerics of your vocation are used to welding and forging swords and battle axes and shields, giant plates of armor, endless yards of chainmail, and you, on the other hand, have turned your craft into something almost like living jewelry with the gears and mechanisms necessary to mimic the fine movement of muscle and skin. So as you slide this leg into place, it's it's almost as if it was born to be there. It is as truly of this child as if anything else of hers would be. It is so natural to her, like her hair or her eyes. And she looks up at you, because even kneeling down, you are looming. You're looming. And she looks up
It's
and says,
suddenly very shady where she's sitting.
the sun is blotted from the sky, the windows. And she gasps and looks up at you and says, "It's warm. It's warm.
Yes,
I thought it would be
it's gonna
cold."
be no, it has to be heat resistant so you and your dragon friend can go through the skies. So it's gonna be a little warm for a little bit until it gets used to you.
Can I stand? Now?
Yeah, whenever you're ready, darling. Totally.
She
And I'm gonna scoot back a little bit to give her some
her
room.
her dads look at each other with tears in their eyes. Actually, one of them's just like weeping, and only the way a high elf can weep, which is just like elegance. Just like just like stars of tears that look like stars streaming down their face as they
I'm so tempted to attempt to collect those stars, if only because that would be a perfect component,
I mean, if you
but I
want to
resist.
ask, you can certainly ask. They will deny you nothing at this point. um, but they support their daughter's arms as she slips off the table, this polished oak bench, and settles her weight upon the two legs, one you've just created for her, and installed the other, her own, or made with her as she was born. And she, holding on to her two fathers, holding her stuffy underneath her like armpit, takes a couple of steps forward and lurches a little bit, and then her fathers catch her and then bring her back a little bit, just to settle her weight again. She tries again. She takes another step, and she looks up at you in wonder and says, "It's like I can feel the ground. I can feel the floor through my foot. I can feel the ground, Daddy. I can feel it. Papa, I can feel it." And her fathers are just like, did they scoop her up. One of them scoops her up in his arms and just holds her, and the other elf embraces the both of them, and it's this beautiful picture of just a family with a renewed sense of hope in their heart. This just perfect portrait of love. And they look back at you again, those like tears like stars falling from their eyes. It's actually very distracting. As they look at you, said, "Dr. Sanita, I just thank you so much. If there's anything we can do, um, we are one of the 76 families that founded this place, and if there's anything that you need, we'd be happy to." I just me and Lotharia, we never thought that this could happen for our baby. Thank you.
Of course. And as she starts discussing about perhaps some pro bono work that they could sponsor, I'm just going to get the description of how Lara Sunito looks. So as I said, she is about 7'2". She is a half orc, half Goliath. She has kind of like a chlorite color skin tone. So it's like sleet green with some splotches on her face. She has vitiligo.
Mhm.
So it's slightly darker spots along her face, and you can see one kind of on her neck and perhaps around other parts of her body. And her orc heritage shows a bit. She has a little bit of tusks coming out of her lower lip, but nothing too big. And she
Yeah.
has like messy brown hair that she kind of pulls back into buns that kind of almost look like jetpacks that are kind of tucked up right underneath her skull.
Yeah, and her fathers are just agreeing to everything that you're saying. They're like, "Yes, of course. Yes, we'll totally make that happen. 100%. Anything you need, pro bono." They're weeping. They continue to weep, distracting beautiful tears.
Also, if you could just cry in this, that would be great. And she kind
Yeah.
of hands them like 2 little vials.
Absolutely, just yeah, this so yeah, you want this full? Because I think we can probably manage it, yeah.
That would be great. And also,
It's
actually, to help that going, just so you know, she should be able to only come back. Give it a couple months. I just want to make sure that the heat has subsided and that it fits on her perfectly. But after that, once I give that the check, I have cast an enchantment on it that it should grow with her until she is at least 300.
the vials just start filling. We're gonna need some more of these. Thank you so much.
Here.
Just
Nurse, more vials.
grabbing vials, weeping into them. And they are blown away by and of course they just as you chat, you discuss things like physical therapy schedules, just making sure that she knows how to use it so that her muscles adjust accordingly to the new prosthetic. And it's at this moment that uh the door to your physical therapy and prosthetic fitting clinic opens, and Dr. Stormy Stumbleduck walks through. I assume this time on your own 2 feet, not propelled
Yes.
on a cart by Dr. Brownstone.
And just wheeled in by Dr. Braxton. Okay.
Yeah, unless you want to. Do you want to be wheeled in by Dr.
No,
Brownstone?
I'm good.
Okay, great. Dr. Brownstone is just a general. He's just a GP. He's a general physician, so he's
Yeah.
got patience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
GP,
But yeah.
general pusher of Dr. Stumbleduck.
The gnomish pusher. Amazing. Superb.
Got a whole degree in that, but yeah, so yeah, Dr. Sanito, you look up at the clock and you see that, a few hours have passed since we began the session, and it's almost noon-ish, and you realize like Dr. Stormy is here to help charge the various battery packs that you have that you need
Right.
for some of your prosthetics. And so you see Dr. Stumbleduck in the corner of your eye. You both nod professionally to each other. Dr. Stumbleduck, you walk in to see yet another beautiful tableau of just love and hope and faith in like the goodness of people that Dr. Signos and seems to
Yeah.
manage to accomplish on a daily basis inside this practice.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Stormy kind of makes a show, not where the like parents or patient can see, but where definitely Lyra can see of doing a little eye roll as like she starts charging.
As you walk away, you're
Uh-huh.
you're walking towards the battery packs. You hear behind you, "I love you, Dr. Sunita."
I
You're
think
my
there's a little
favorite
like
person.
tiny storm cloud brewing over Stormy's head.
Yeah, and eventually,
I
yeah, go
think
ahead.
maybe noticing that, I think Lyra like pats both parents on their shoulders because they're holding their daughter, and just pats them on the shoulders and just looks down appreciative at them, and then just like raises a very tense brow at Stormy. and then continues to keep their attention on her giant mitts, just like patting their backs, like they're there. It's fine.
Do either of you want to roll insight check on each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. I was
Are,
just
are
going to
either of
ask.
you trying to hide your feelings or how or
I
whatnot?
think
Because in that case, you
it's
should
the
roll deception.
opposite. I think Stormy is trying to like telegraph her feelings.
Gotcha. Okay, in that case, Dr. Lara, please make an insight check with advantage.
Okay, perfect. All right. Ooh, okay. So I rolled, our history is so good, Dr. Stumbleblock. I rolled a 28.
Oof.
You know exactly what's going on as soon as you see Dr. Stumbleduck enter your practice and that tiny rain cloud. What tell us, Sally, what is Dr. Stumbleduck thinking?
I think with that good of a roll, like the first thing you know is that like Stormy could have come like 30 minutes later when you wouldn't be here, but she showed up because she like wanted to make a show of being in the room with you. Um Also you know that like she's always been kind of jealous as like the ER doctor who's like dealing with lots of gross things and grumpy patients and everyone's moody. And like you're like, oh, like you let me walk again.
Oh yeah, this old conversation. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, whoa, you let me walk again. Oh,
So
Gauntlet of feels. Fight!
Mhm.
so yeah, Dr. Sunita, you palpably feel Dr. Stormy Duck's as Dr. Stumbleduck's resentment.
Mhm.
Just a ball of stormy resentment go past you. And
Mhm.
eventually,
This is definitely a fight we've had before.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
oh yeah, in fact, like your minds both flash back
Mhm.
to the various late night drunken conversations you two have
Mhm.
had in like the brief moment you cohabitated. Um of just, talking about how easy Dr. Sunita has it. All they need to do is just make a hand,
Mhm.
and suddenly some a dwarvish artisan can make beautiful weapons again.
Uh-huh.
And instead, you've got to deal with someone having explosive, explosive bodily fluid situations in the
Mhm.
ER again, which is so much
Yeah.
less glorious.
Uh-huh.
So again, we like flashback forward, but as you remember those fights, but there's also a tinge of regret when not regret particularly, but maybe wistfulness as you also remember those tempestuous moments of romance where there were illicit maybe snuggles in a supply closet, or just remembering how perfectly you were big spoon to Stormy's little spoon. So
Oh, I'm pretty sure Stormy was
Okay.
jetpacking,
Okay.
Lyra.
thank you
Like,
very much. Okay, how perfectly Dr. Stormy jetpacked onto Dr. Lyra. But all of this passes in a flash as Dr. Stormy walks into the battery charging stations, and you start putting on the various wires and like absurdly comfortable like cuffs that were handcrafted by Dr. Sanito.
Mhm.
Um,
I do know
and
your
yeah.
measurements, so
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's at this point, Dr. Sunito, yeah, you can walk in, the elvish family, the high elf family has left. And, yeah, you walk in, there's no one else in the practice.
wow, you've got some excellent timing there, I say, as I'm starting to gather up paperwork.
I just had finished my lunch and thought it was I had a few free moments, thought I'd get this done early. You don't mind that, do you, Dr. Cino? I know you always hate when people are late.
You're right about that, but the faces really. I thought we said we were going to be amicable last time.
I am being perfectly amicable. What are you even talking about?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, Stormy Duck. Let's just go that direction.
You don't get to call me that anymore.
You didn't get to make faces about my own practice in my own work.
Oh. And again, both of you flashing back to like the moment of you both saw each other at your internship, the first day you were interns here in this hospital. That initial chemistry that turned into a little firestorm, which is what they used to call the both of you together.
Yeah.
And now it's this. Now it's you two sniping at each other in the battery charging room.
How are things going with the woman from pediatrics? What's her name? I can never remember her name.
You know she's an EMT. And her name is GM. What's her name?
Checks notes. Looks at smudged writing on hand. Her name is.
Her name is Melanie. She's a gold dragonborn. I have it in my notes. I'm sorry. Yeah,
It's okay.
It's just Melanie. Melanie. They don't really have like. I think it's just Melanie Bright Scale.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Things are going great with Melanie. How's Falafel guy?
Flannery? He's great. You know, he's so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, really heart of gold.
You met his parents yet?
No.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't like a competition or anything.
It's not, and I'm not the one who brought this up.
As you're having this conversation, we see electricity from the rain cloud like this. It has at this point, I think, if correct me if I'm wrong, maybe
Right.
turned into like a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
And there's just lightning bolts like just
Mhm.
dancing down your limbs into these battery packs.
Yeah.
And they're actually filling up more quickly than usual.
I think after that's happened and you're like sparking even more,
Mhm.
Lara's walked over to like a cabinet and opens it and then pulls out a stick that when she like extends it, it actually becomes a pretty intricate parasol. And then just like puts it next to you and pops it up so that you don't get rained on.
Thank you.
So if you can finish that with as less water works, that would be great.
Yeah. Got it. I still have a sweater of yours.
Dr. Cena just like walking away. I was on the door and then like I still have your sweater.
She kind of like stops, has her hand on like the door frame, or I think at this point probably like the roof of the door is like ducking down to get out, and like pauses and then looks over her shoulder and then like taps 3 times into a tune that you know is something that she used to play often when you would drink together.
Mhm.
And then walks out.
Oh, Dr. Stormy, you're sitting there on your little stool
Mhm.
with this umbrella on your head. with you feel the tiny pitter patter of rain upon this umbrella and this parasol, as you very quickly catch like, oh, this is filling up much more quickly than usual. I need to like back off a
Yeah.
little bit, and you look out the window through the outside of this. There's a window that goes that looks into the battery charging room, but it actually also gives you a straight shot out onto the beautiful spires and towers and buildings of Waterdeep, where you contemplate, God, there's got to be someone else out there who's
Mhm.
for me who's not like this. I wonder what's going on with the cute falafel dude, and the camera pans out of the windows over the rooftops and onto a single falafel cart. Um, that is trundling its way past the very nice part of town. This is where a lot of the families of the 76 are usually headquartered, and you see there's like really cute tiefling, like just he's in his early 30s. He's got like a lean dancer's build. He has like his button-up shirt that's like artfully unbuttoned at just enough to give you a little bit of peek, just to allure you, but just not too much more. You're gonna need to buy at least a couple of specials first. And yeah, he's trundling his little cart, and he sees coming in the opposite direction, um, a very heavily armored cleric holding basically what looks like there's like on the back of the back of a pony with two other ponies with two small cannons mounted to it, going towards the rich part of town. And they look up at the tiefling says, "Oh, hey, it's Nisha, right? Nisha, right, from Waterdeep General Hospital. You're the head admin there."
Nisha is a human, very tired, bags under her eyes. She's not very pretty. She's very pale, a lot of freckles, not in like the pretty way. She's wearing basically what I am, like professional robes. Her hair is in an attempt to put it back to keep it away from her face. Brown eyes, fairly short, like 5'4", 5'5", maybe. She's wearing heeled boots. She has not had caffeine yet. She has lust in her heart for the gyros that are at that cart. I will take what the oh, hang on.
Oh, I'm actually not open yet, but if you want, I can give you something real easy. Oh, he looks at you. You just hold out the money, and he's like, "All right then," and he starts opening the various parts of his
Thank
cart
you.
in order to prepare. He takes your money. He looks and says, "I imagine you probably want some coffee with that."
Give me the strongest tea you have and a cup of the strongest coffee you got.
Right? Do you want me to put them together in the cup like you like it sometimes, or do you want me to have two separate cups?
Two separate, thank you.
All right. Coming up. Anything for the ponies there?
You got an IV drip of caffeine?
For the ponies?
Yes, for the ponies.
Well, that's not really what I do, but let me go ahead and get that gyro ready for you. And so he makes a beautifully sumptuous. Do you eat meat, or are you more of a falafel?
Nom nom.
Okay, just everything into this gyro.
In the
You get like
cash
this,
is
it's
the
like
list
a small.
of the entire order. It is basically like if you go to the deli, you're like, I want this, I want this, I want this. Why the hell are you still staring at me? Come on, let's go. I'm hungry.
All right. I'll be your first customer of the day. It's not even noon yet, but And so he puts it all together. He hands you your order. There's like your gyro at this point looks like a freaking food baby, like an infant swaddled in something, except the infant is in fact food. And you just start going to town on it. There's a couple of cup holders on your pony, and he just kind of sticks the two caffeinated drinks in there, and he says, "Oh, well, I don't suppose you saw my sweetheart, Dr. Stormy, as you were heading out."
I have been stuck in the basement for the last. I've been stuck in the basement, billing out so many things.
Oh, I see. All right. I understand. He's just backing away from you with the cart.
Nisha pulls out from one of the ponies a mug that just, those color changing mugs?
Yes.
Basically, as it goes down, it's like it reveals like a status, and as it gets to the bottom, it just says "You may approach."
Right. Well, looks like you're out showing those nobles what for again. Can't fund a hospital without getting that money. So
Well,
good on ya.
that's what Louise is for. You see the giant crossbow on one of the ponies and like a whole quiver of crossbow bolts.
You're just like a
And-
one-person armory with 3 ponies.
Yeah,
It's
and
great.
there's Louise, and then there's negotiations.
Right. All right, you got the whole team. Well, I guess I'll be heading over to the hospital now for the lunch hour. To see my sweetheart. So excited. I was gonna tell her I want her to meet my parents.
Turns around, goes to the ponies.
All right then. Well, I guess I'll see you around. Bye. And he
I
trundles
pull
off.
out my stone and just say, code yellow, falafel guy's coming. Get your shit. And put the stone back in my pocket. And
Flash over to the hospital. Everyone's just like, falafel guy's coming. And then like all the admins, ER doctors like pop out of the house. Like,
yeah, it's basically like that slow-mo version of like Oh Fortuna of everyone pushing each other out of the way.
Dr. Parr, your wormling just pops, just like gently taps you and goes like, and holds up the little speaking stone. It just says, falafel guy's coming. Code yellow, falafel guy's coming. And yeah, Dr. Nisha, you oh, sorry, Jay, were you about to say something?
Oh, I just had a really quick clarifying question.
Yeah, sure.
Are you doing a bit, or is your second horse named Negotiations?
I have a crossbow named Louise. I have a secondary weapon called Negotiations.
Oh, I see. Okay, I thought Louise was your horse name. Okay.
The ponies are a hospital property.
Gotcha.
Specifically taken for these purposes.
I was not allowed to name the ponies because otherwise I would have named them EOB and accounting remittance.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
just
cool.
as well the ponies are not allowed to be named by you.
Yes, anyways.
As it is, one pony's named Water, the other one's named Deep.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yeah, the
That
stable
was
hands
not
are
me.
not the stable hands are not terribly imaginative.
That was not me. That was somebody else in the scribe department who was drunk. That was at the holiday party. That was not me.
I think I'm one of the few doctors who doesn't super care for this falafel guy, but I like seeing everyone else freak out over him. So I am coming to observe.
Yeah. You definitely make your way out. Your Cirrus it just sort of shakes their head and resumes I guess
Actually,
proofreading.
before I
Yeah.
leave, I'm going to hand Cirrus the notes that were taken during my surgery by people who were watching,
Mhm.
because I'm doing it. I'm not going to take the notes. Someone else will take the
Oh
notes.
yeah.
But I
yeah.
hand the notes over for Cirrus to
Yeah.
file and get in the system and whatnot,
Yeah.
and then I leave.
Yeah, Cirrus just takes it with a and shrugs and then waves at you as you leave your office. And we go back to Nisha. You are you make your way munching on your gyro and and drinking your drinks as you head over to one of the most highly regarded families of Waterdeep, one of the 76. This is the home of the Obsidians, and they are a wealthy, well, now they're no longer merchants. They have investments for that, and they are so the way that Waterdeep General Hospital works is that we don't really have insurance in Waterdeep. But the hospital is free unless you are a noble, in which case you must pay more than your fair share. And oftentimes these nobles just don't really like to pay their things on time. And so it's one of the reasons why the admins of Waterdeep are doubly trained in what they like to call finance enforcement as you go and you are the best at your job. The Obsidians have not paid in over 9 months. And at this point, the interest on their initial bill is quite considerable. and you
All
pull up to their
right,
manor
so-
house. Yeah.
In the billing world, we have a thing called going to the clearinghouse. In this case, I pull out a hammer that just says clearinghouse. I pull out all my weapons and the paperwork, which I put in like a little bit of a holster to the side. I look at the grand estate with all the opulence and all the beauty. Let's get this over with. And kick down the gate, bang on the door with the hammer as
Okay.
hard as I can, because I can, and just yell, "Open up! You're 9
You
months
hear-
overdue!"
You hear a guard from up in a parapet yell down at you imperiously. Who's there?
Open up or I bring out Louise.
Who's Louise? Wait, no. And then you hear another voice say, shh, shh, shh. No, Louise, you don't want to mess with Louise. Go get the master. But why should we be scared of a person with three
At that,
ponies and a
I aim and
crossbow?
fire.
Go ahead and roll me, give me an attack roll.
God damn it!
The shot goes wide. It goes so wide. It hits the other guard. The other guard's like, well, I'm going to go report to the master. And it just like falls over.
Next one hits you, honey. Open up.
And the other one says, the master will not be pleased with this. And then
I don't care. Open up.
You hear the footsteps roll away. Roll away in a series of patters, and because you did roll that nat one, I'm gonna need you to take just two points of damage.
Ah, damn.
Because you didn't brace yourself properly for the recoil.
Oh, fucking hell.
The incredibly the drawbridge does come down. Why don't you go ahead and roll me some damage? You said you attacked the what was it, the gate? So there is a gate. I'd like you to go ahead and roll me some damage for that gate.
I'm not using that die. That was an asshole. That's even better. That is remind me again. Attack plus.
So yeah, it's attack plus whatever bonus you get like for that particular weapon if you're proficient or not.
Did I put my weapon in here? I'm just gonna say a straight 18 because I cannot find it on D&D Beyond.
Oh yeah, you rolled me. Yeah, you hit the thing. Did you roll me damage on? What did you attack with?
I just kicked it.
Oh, you just kicked it with your foot. Okay, go ahead and roll me a d4.
Okay. Thank you for your patience.
No worries.
That would be a 1.
Okay, yeah. You show that gate what for. It made a big noise. The eventually you see a rather imperious and familiar looking head pop out from a window and say, "Yes, what is it that you want?"
I aim again.
Oh God! You rush back in.
You're 9 months overdue, buddy. I
Is
got
this
the paperwork
hospital?
right here.
God, Jeremy, did you pay the hospital? Yes, of course I paid the hospital. Why? Because the collection agency is outside.
I ain't the collection agency. I'm a biller and a coder. I'm certified. Get it right.
Okay. God, Jeremy, this is why you need to stop getting STDs. I keep telling you, you need to go to the right places. You need to use protection. All this fuss over a simple gonorrhea situation. Well, apparently, and you didn't pay it either. So what is it like? What's the? How much do we owe you?
Open the gate. Open the door. Come on
All
out.
right, all right. God.
Tick tock,
Jimmy,
tick tock.
Jimmy, go. It was your gonorrhea. Go. And in about like a minute, you see the gate begin to open, the doors behind it open as well, and a rather harassed looking 40-something-year-old white man with blonde hair and entirely too much fur for this time of year trundles out with about 10 guards and says, "Yes, it is I, Sir Jeremy Obsidian
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
House
don't
of
care.
Yes, okay,
Come here.
fine.
All right, come here. All right, here's your EOB.
Yes.
All right.
What is
So,
it?
we're looking at, and she's pulling out like her small reference of ICD-10 codes and procedure codes, and like, okay, cool. All right. So you see this?
Yes, I see it.
You see this?
Yes, I see it.
And question for the GM: how much do they owe?
Oh, they owe like 300 gold.
All right, so that brings us to 300 gold. That could have gone to helping somebody else.
It was just for a
No excuses.
gonorrhea
No
test
excuses. Pay
and
up, or I bring out
medicine.
remittance.
Oh God, no! Don't bring out remittance. All right, fine.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Fine. Here, I sure can't give you a horse. This horse I have in the stables. It's
Cash.
supposed- Fine. Sure, you don't want
Do
the horse.
not make me go for manager mode.
Oh no. All right. Well, fine. And so they said pay the person. And,
All right, I'm gonna need you to sign these documents.
All right.
All right, sign
He
here.
starts signing. Yes,
And
signing.
it's like 20 pages.
Yes, yes. God, this is just ridiculous.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want Lucille to come back out?
No, I don't want any of your named weapons to come out.
Good. And you
Not
see
after
the
the
shit-eating
chlamydia
grin
incident
on her
last week.
on her
Oh
face.
God. All right, fine. This is like
Yes,
the
you
chlamydia
better-
incident last
So
year.
you're gonna
All
sign
right.
this, and by the time I finish my tea, this better be paid, and all these documents better be signed.
I've already
Tick
sent
tock.
someone in.
Run, like casually walks over to one of the horses.
There's
grabs
a page
grabs the
boy
mug of tea.
runs out with like a little treasure chest, a real treasure chest this time, not a mimic. And hands it over and says, "All right, sir, here's the money. Fine, take the money, take it." And they hand you this chest.
And Nisha says, "Put it on the horse."
Go put it on the horse.
No,
And
you put it on the horse. This is your responsibility.
Fine. They go over, they put it on the horse. They just sort of like very delicately just on the horse. Is there anything else? Can
Pay
I
your damn bills
go?
on time. Next time, I'm summoning the clearinghouse.
At the mention of the clearinghouse, they actually shudder a little bit and say,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Fine. All right. Good day to you.
Send your guard to the hospital. I hit him in the shoulder.
All right.
At least I didn't hit him in the knee
that.
this time.
Fine. I'll send the guard.
Pay for that on time. Let's go.
All right.
Gets on the horse and leaves. And just like mutters like, fucking rich people.
You walk away with your arsenal of weapons and ponies, and as you make it back, you see that the line for the falafel guy is in fact in full effect. You were definitely wise in making sure that you got the first batch of the day. Flannery the falafel tiefling is slinging falafel, carving off pieces of shawarma, like off of the what do you call it, the spit that it's so delicious. Why can't I think of it? Y'all know what I'm talking about. He's shaving off pieces of like gyro, making these incredible pitas. He's got fresh pitas. He's even got like sides of couscous. He's asking if people want the red sauce or the white sauce. Hello, guys, reference. And yeah, Dr. Stormy, are you out to see your boyfriend?
I think so. And I think once Stormy is up in line, she's just doing the like hair twirling, like holding up the whole line.
Oh, he's just yeah, he keeps like grabbing like balls of falafel and like trying to put it in the pita and then missing, and then it's just like picks it up again. It's like, oh really? That's your day sounds so interesting. I'm just like trying to put together, mother and father have been wanting to ask you to come over. Yeah, they really want to meet you.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Yeah, I'm
Oh
great
no,
with
they
parents.
oh, that's so great to hear. I
Yeah.
really love to I just think you're the greatest thing ever. And there's like a really irate
Uh-huh.
uh dwarven OB just standing like midwife just standing there like,
Uh-huh.
I've got babies to go deliver. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Here you go. There you go. Right. What will you have? You'll have the special. All right. I'll go ahead and grab that. And he just
Uh-huh.
tries to put it on.
Yeah.
And he just keeps looking at you and kind of fawning over you.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And Nisha, as you appear in the distance, like a bunch of the people who are in line look at you and uh you definitely don't notice because you are such a business focused individual. But a lot of them like sigh a little bit as you crest that little cobblestone hill. It's like,
I look for Dr. Parr.
Dr. Parr is standing at a balcony. I think you're sipping maybe some iced tea or something.
Yeah, I've made myself a coffee from my machine, and I'm just sipping and watching. I've sent an intern to go get me lunch from like the sushi place downtown.
I've
Yeah, there's a
seen
really
Dr.
good
Parr
sushi
at the
place.
balcony.
Uh-huh.
I'd just be like, and go right to the stables to get back to work.
Yeah, Dr. Parr, do you acknowledge?
I'm sorry, I was looking at the captions. What did you do?
Looks up at Dr. Parr and it's like, yo.
I think it's very subtle, but I think I take a sip of my drink and just give you like a little nod back in like hello, but I don't say anything else.
You get a message later saying, I got my food before the falafel guy arrived, so you don't have to go up on the roof this time.
I send back thumbs up emoji equivalent.
Amazing. Dr.
And
Rowan.
you get a response saying, I
Yeah.
brought donuts.
Thumbs up emoji.
All right, cool. Let's see if they show up this time.
Dr. Rowan, Dr. Dr. Lyra, do you Lyra, are you also waiting for falafel? Or have you brought your own lunches?
I think I bring my lunch every day because, unlike Dr. Parr, I am very particular about my paperwork and I don't allow a scribe to do any of that for me. So, on the rare occasion that trauma is not in need of my help, I'm in my office trying to eat whatever I packed and am filling out my own paperwork, despite the many insistences of the hospital that I should have someone do that for me.
Wonderful.
I think Lyra is probably out front watching the chaos, but I think she's almost maybe a little bit as bad as Rowan. But it's not that she brings her own lunch, is that she got from whatever weird vending machine is in the hospital. She's just got the equivalent of like Cool Ranch Doritos and is trying desperately to not get get anything on her paperwork as she's filling out like blueprints for different things she knows she's gonna have to make hopefully this afternoon.
Wonderful. So
but is also kind of scowling at the fact that Stormy is holding up this line. You know, whatever. Everyone else can eat eventually, but this is just ridiculous.
Did you get the fantasy limited time flavored Lay's wavy Funyun onion flavored flavored rings?
which is now canonical in this world and is
Yes.
stocked in the Waterdeep General Hospital.
With extra sauce.
Yep.
Of course.
Not spawned.
Oh my god, you're kidding me.
Nope, this is a
Nope.
real bag of chips.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
And it's also a fantasy bag of chips.
Yes.
So let's see. So Dr. Parr, I think Nisha,
Yes.
you hear this as well. But I think Dr. Stormy, Dr. Sunito, Dr. Parr, you see Flannery, the really cute tiefling. I need to reemphasize how handsome this tiefling is because he's really hot. He's wearing a flat cap. He's got
Ooh.
like some suspenders. Like he's kind of got like a hot Peaky Blinders like feel going on. You see him basically assemble another special plate, and as he hands it over to the next customer, he says, "Well, here you go. Thank you so much." And the plate falls from his hands. Falafel balls, rice, bits of tomato, lettuce, and lamb just scatter across the cobblestones in front of Waterdeep General Hospital as this intensely attractive tiefling clutches at his chest and falls to his knees, falls onto all fours, and just collapses onto his back where he starts gasping and shaking like a fish out of water. And on that note, I think it is a great time to take a break.
Oh!
Chaos, chaos, chaos.
Drama!
Flannery, no!
Not the hot tiefling, no!
Can't
Not
describe how hot my
falafels.
fictional boyfriend is and then kill him.
So, with that, I think we're going to go ahead and take a quick, I believe, 5-minute break, and we will be back shortly. So, go cycle your fluids, eat a thing, make sure that you are hydrated and stretch a little bit. And we will see you back on this channel, Girls Run These Worlds, for see what happens next on Waterdeep Anatomy. Bye! Hello and welcome back to this incredibly tempestuous, dramatic, and dare I say romantic first episode of Waterdeep Anatomy with my little collection of clerics. Since we last the last thing that we saw before we took our break was Flannery, the beloved falafel man, the beau of our own very cute Dr. Stormy Stumbleduck, has collapsed in the middle of the Waterdeep street. Dr. Stormy, you are first and closest. What do you do?
I think Stormy like immediately like flips into work mode, like drops like
You are surrounded by hospital staff.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd like to roll medicine.
Go
to
for it.
see
Please
what's
roll
going on.
medicine. Absolutely.
It's not 2d6. For some reason, I was thinking I was playing a Powered by the Apocalypse game. That's a natural 20.
You look at him and
Ooh.
you immediately. So here's two things you noticed immediately. The first is that he is rapidly losing consciousness and his face is turning blue.
Yeah.
So he needs to get on a ventilator. He needs medical assistance right away. But the other thing that you notice is that there you look so you crouch down to look over his body, and as you look into his face, you look into his eyes, you realize that your hand isn't touching flesh. It isn't touching warm flesh. You look down and you see that his skin is in fact turning into metal, some kind of metal, and it's slow,
Mhm.
but you get the general understanding that if this were to progress, your sweet falafel boy is not going to be the same. And there's not too much you can do about it right now with him on the ground, the both of you surrounded by the remains of a special falafel plate.
Mhm.
Um,
I summon like my unseen servants to like start like turning him over and like doing like the stuff I'd be having like assistants do and nurses
Uh-huh.
do. And
Yeah, and fellow nurses look in. You have actually a couple of them go over and say, like, Dr. Stormy, do you want us to bring? We should bring him into the ER right away.
yep,
Right?
get a gurney.
Okay, right. And they animate a gurney. The gurney just walks out, like Beauty and the Beast style. And
That's terrifying. I need to clarify that
it's
is
a world
terrifying.
of magic.
And this is why Nisha works in admin.
Be our guest means something completely different here.
Yes.
Oh,
But yeah, the gurney like crouches down, like you get Flannery on top of it, and then it stomps off into the emergency room. Dr. Rowan, the orcish nurse that you saw earlier, bursts into your break room. Are you eating in the break room or are you eating somewhere else?
I think I'm in my office.
Okay, they break into your office. Well, I mean, they burst into your office. Don't break into your office, but they burst into your office as you're midway through your meal and say, Dr. Verglass, we've got a problem. It's Flannery. And you know Flannery. Everyone knows Flannery.
Flannery, the
there's something-
falafel guy?
Flannery, he's down. There's something wrong with him. We need you. We need you on the floor.
I grab my stethoscope and put it on as I'm running out the door.
Yeah, you grab your go bag, your cleric go bag. You're running out the door. You and I think Dr. Parr, what are you doing? So you were kind of on the balcony, like outside, observing this whole situation. Oh, Jay.
sorry. I got so distracted. Apparently, Disney dropped a trailer for the Percy Jackson TV show. I got so distracted.
Eyes of the prize. We've got Flannery, the falafel guy.
Yes. Well, sorry. What? What's happening?
you
I'm gonna
doing?
be a doctor.
What are you doing?
I am going to walk briskly down the stairs around to see what's sort of happening. I see that some of my lovely coworkers have sort of gotten the immediate sort of triage-ish done. The gurney comes ambling out the side into frame. Oh my god, that's terrifying. And as they were bringing him where? Just a
You're
trauma room, or
He's being brought into the trauma room. He's brought into the ER, into one of the trauma areas, and you see your colleague from across the room, Dr. Verglass, there with their stethoscope. They rush over to their side. Dr. Verglass, you look up and you do see Dr. Parr standing there in the hallway, kind of an island of stillness amidst all of the rush.
I think I just lock eyes with you and I sort of like give you a look that I think you understand to just be like, do you need help or do you got this? Because like trauma and this sort of thing isn't really my specialty. Like obviously I'm trained for anything, but not quite my specialty, and you know, too many cooks in the kitchen and all that kind of thing. So I sort of just look at you like, do you need help?
So Flannery has been brought in and is in a room, and I'm at his side at this moment.
Yeah, with Dr. Stormy. Dr. Stormy is also
Have you
there
seen
with
this
you.
before, Rowan? I've never seen anyone turn the metal.
Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead. Yeah. Minnie. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I think while all of this is happening, and then Stormy starts like barking out orders, has the unseen servant, everything's happening. I think Lyra runs after everything, and
You drop
starts,
your
like,
bag of Funyun
drop
ranch,
my bag of
Cool
like rare
Ranch chips.
Waterdeep Funyuns, and it's just like chattering at Stormy, just like, you can't be involved in this. You need to back away.
I need to be here.
No, you do not.
He's going to take me to meet his parents. I need to take care of this.
And if you want him to survive for that, you need to let Rowan do her job. And I'm going to like pick you up and get you away from the situation.
Okay.
Nisha, you, as you are walking back to your desk, you see the the ambulatory gurney with Flannery walk by. You see Dr. Stormy kind of like crouched on top of Flannery as it ambles by, with like Dr. Lyra there, and then Dr. Verglass as well. So this is all happening. You see it just cross your vision, this whole scene.
Takes a
So
look.
seeing my two prior interns together, knowing that Dr. Sanito has Dr. Stumbleduck taken care of, because I absolutely agree with Dr. Sanito. Dr. Stumbleduck is too close to this patient. I give Dr. Sanito a nod, lock eyes with Dr. Parr, and motion you over.
Then I will walk over, and if just any intern is in the hallway, I'm going to pass them my coffee.
Yeah, there's an
and
intern.
cool. Can it be the same intern from before? Can it be
Oh, it's Dr.
Peachtree?
Peachtree. Really, Dr. Peachtree.
Poor Dr.
She's got her blonde, curly hair up in a ponytail and a bun, and just
Aw.
like holds your coffee, and then you can, for a moment, the camera settles on her, and she contemplates whether or not to do the indirect kiss thing, and decides not to.
The what?
Oh, it's like a Bollywood like K-drama thing.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean?
It means that they like, if they drink out of the same place that you drink, it's like your lips indirectly touch.
Oh,
Yeah.
weird. Okay.
Yeah, it's a romance trope.
That's
Don't
so-
worry about it.
No, that can't be sanitary.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
she
no.
thinks about. She's like, oh wait, I'm a doctor. This isn't sanitary.
And I think like when I hand her the drink, I just tell her very brusquely like to bring this back to my office, and then
Right, doctor.
and I will walk in and just look at Dr. Verglass and say, what's going on? Where do you need me?
I need you to start getting me a workup. I'm going to intubate. And I start trying to open this man's
Cool.
airway.
Yeah, you.
I will do vitals and shit, stuff that doctors do.
Yeah, to the orcish nurse, who I need to give a name because I keep calling them the orcish nurse. Or we could just call him the orcish nurse. It's all good. If you want to, it has to come up. Chat, come up with a name.
Gronslore. Gronslore.
Gronslore, who is this incredibly, everyone on the staff is very attractive, but this very attractive, rugged, orcish, like nurse named, I'm sorry, Works?
Gronslore.
Gronslore.
Gronslor.
Perfect. I spelled it exactly how you said it, so I'm very proud of myself.
Good.
Grunslord Jacobs.
Gronslor,
Yes.
thank you, Jacobs. Nurse Jacobs looks at all of you and says, is there? I can get was it Dr. Dotara, the lead nurse, lead supervisor nurse? I can get her in if you need an extra pair of hands, or are mine okay?
No time. We need you on this.
All right. So they assist. You hook them up to the various. You hook Flannery up to the various pieces of equipment. You've got the pulse monitoring going. You've got vitals checking and all that stuff. It's very very efficient. All of you are a well-oiled engine. So I'm going to need. So Dr. Stormy, did you manage to impart anything to Dr. Verglass before you were summarily carried out of the room? Like a big.
I
football-
think, yeah, he's turning into metal. I've never seen something like that before, but you got to work quick.
So, with that information, I'd like the both of you to make medicine checks for me, please. Medicine or Arcana.
19 medicine check.
Okay.
That's a 16, and I'm looking for a spell that I might have that might help.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. If there are any spells or anything else that you want to throw into the mix here, this is the time for it. You are trying to figure out what is going wrong with the falafel boy. So with a 19, you are able to make the same assessment as Dr. Stormy. In this case, the patch that was on his left forearm has increased, and it looks like it's extending down to his hand, and it is moving, albeit at a slow rate, but it is moving. This is not something that either of you have seen before.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Can I just try casting what's it called? How long does this take? Oh, it's one action. Okay, cool. Detect poison and disease.
Go ahead. You do that. You do not get any poison or disease from this. Actually, if you want to make me an Arcana roll for me, that would be
Okay.
or detect magic. If either of you have detect magic, clerics don't always have that, but sometimes they do.
Don't think I have detect magic.
Okay, gotcha.
Is that a cleric spell?
I mean, some of you have multi-class, so.
Oh, very true. I'm just a cleric. I can't read the numbers on my dice. Love this for me. Okay, plus 1, 15.
15. And that was for.
That was Arcana.
Arcana. This is magical. Whatever's going on, this is magical. This is not some mundane nonsense. This is some kind of magic enchantment situation, possibly transfiguration. You realize this, and you do have non-clerics on the Waterdeep General Hospital staff. There are a couple of wizards down who actually do work with Nisha, but they basically make sure that all of the record keeping and the journals and whatnot are done and like organized as efficiently as possible. There are a couple of druids who do brew medications and things like that in open pharmacy. So you do have access to other non-cleric folks within this situation if you need them.
Does anyone have dispel magic?
Dr. Nurse Jacobs looks at you. Did you actually voice this, or is this?
No, this is me, the player, asking.
Okay, gotcha. Just
Would
as I'm working,
nurses
I
have stuff like that?
sorry.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, would nurses have spells like that?
If the nurse was multi-classing, and some nurses come into this, and actually, you do either of you know? I don't think either of you know Nurse Jacobs very well, right?
No.
Nurse Jacobs is an older orc, and is actually one of the wizards one of the multi-class folks you have on staff, and was a wizard before he decided to stop working at Candlekeep and start saving lives more directly, and became a nurse. So he says, yeah, I can dispel this. I think, all right, let me just it's
I
going
step
to take a
aside
moment.
to give him space.
All right, thank you. I could, if you just grab some light. I'm gonna need some light over here.
Cast
I
light.
cast light.
Wonderful.
We have
So much
light.
light.
It's so bright in here now.
It's so bright in here. You just see like just brightness coming from that room, and he concentrates.
Spills
Oh.
out into the hallway.
Yeah, he concentrates really, really hard, and dispel magic does take a little bit. And you see him. You see the growth on this arm start to slow, and then eventually stop. And he is sweating. He is sweating through his nurse's robes, and he looks at me and says, "I, let me just make a couple of checks here." And he's gonna do some stuff. Okay. Yeah. He looks down at the arm and says, "I was able to stop the growth, but I feel like there's something in here that's gonna make it start again, but I really I don't know. I he kind of starts crying. Partially because he feels really useless, but also because it's really, really bright in here.
I
And he's
I dispel my half of the light.
okay. It's just like I don't know. I think we're gonna need
Dr.
I've never
Jacobs,
seen
take a seat.
okay. It's just
No room
nurse,
for
but
that
thank
here.
you. All right. Uh, and you see that Flannery's vitals have stabilized and he's doing okay. What's up, Dr. Parr?
I'm taking a pen from my breast pocket, and I'm just going to like stroke it along Flannery's fingers and just ask him if he can feel that.
He is currently unconscious.
Oh, never mind. Did he
Is
pass
currently
out? I must
yeah,
have
he
missed
passed
that.
out. He
Ah.
hit his head on the way down when he
Oh,
collapsed
I
out on the
With
street.
Flannery's vitals stabilized and whatever this is stopped for now, I'm going to lay my hand on his chest and cast Remove Curse and see if that does anything.
Ooh.
You do not see a shift. Actually what happens is you see it retract a little bit and then you see it go back to where it was. So whatever's happening here, it's definitely very stubborn.
Seeing it retract, does that give me a sense that it is curse-like, or the fact that it grew back, it's probably not a curse, it's something else innately magic?
It does have a curse-like element to it, but that's the thing. There's something else happening here. Probably a series of somethings that are happening here. And the both of you look at each other and you get the feeling you're going to need Dr. Haven.
Who's Dr. Haven?
Head of diagnostics.
Ah, cool. I will just like I think we share like that knowing look. And I'll pull out my stone and just send a message to page Dr. Haven to our trauma room.
In the meantime, I'm going to turn the camera over to Dr. Stormy and Dr. Sunito. You're sitting in a little like comfy couch like near Nisha's Nisha, you're at reception, right? Or you're basically at billing.
I'm in the billing department
In the basement?
at my desk, which is a blander color than this wall. Like the high wall cubicles. And unlike a lot of the other workers who have like photos of their family, maybe a cute thing on their desk, it is incredibly pristine, save for some papers that are to be worked on, processed, and the one bin that everybody dreads. House visit. And there's really no decoration. It's just, except for maybe like a single charm and the communication stone that they use for communicating with Dr. Parr and the other doctors and begging them, pleading to the point of bribery with donuts to write their signature like a freaking human being.
Well, not all of them are human, to be fair, but they understand what you mean.
Nisha also has a index, like the Rolodex of every single doctor who works in this hospital. She hunts them down and forces them to write their signature and then print their name next to it so she knows exactly who is signing off on what.
Are you in the basement? Or are you
We're in the
on
basement. We don't see the light of day.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm gonna say, like, Dr. Sunita, you have brought Dr. Stormy down to the basement because there's no one. It's quiet. You're away from the hubbub, and you know it's a good place for the two of you to chat and find your grounding as all of the chaos is happening above you. And Nisha, you're just sitting there at your desk with your crossbow.
It's like
your
right,
other
it's like right at
accoutrement.
the end of the QB, leaning right there because there's no command strip that can hold that shit up. But she also has a sign that says, please be respectful to the billing department. We're doing our best. Shut up.
So yeah, what is the conversation like between the two of you on this comfy couch in billing?
Nisha is occasionally looking at the paperwork and yelling over her wall, being like, "Hey, Esbeth, Esbeth,
Yeah. What do you want?
this isn't a 992 223. This is a 99211. It was an initial visit. You're upcoding. You know that's illegal."
Look, I was distracted. We have medical prom this Friday, and I got asked out by the cute boy over in
Do you see my face?
over in waste disposal. Yes. I see your face. I don't need to see your face. I know what you look like. You are looking very unhappy. I am very sorry. I will not have that happen again.
Hands over the paperwork and like,
Ryan is very cute.
we're at work. You know what I say?
Yes, I know.
Don't dip the pleasure pen in the business ink.
He works in waste management. Oh, all right.
All right, now I want you, Maribel,
Yeah.
take care of take care of the scribes, and
All
I
right.
want Alwyn,
Yeah.
Alhambra.
Yeah.
You two are on house visits. Get your crossbows ready.
All right. Two gnomes, other gnomes, go and fetch a couple of smaller crossbows, but they also reach out for the enchanted weapons, like the enchanted staves. They're especially they're meant for fireball and lightning bolts, so they grab those.
Make sure you get your crossbows maintenance.
Oh
We've
yeah,
had a bit of
we got them
kickback
checked
today,
out.
so just be careful.
Gotcha. Understood.
Can I get Lupita?
Yeah.
Michio?
Yes.
And can I also get Cassandra?
Yes.
Here are your assignments for today.
All right.
These are all coded
Oh.
out. Look them over, bill them out. And as for this,
Yeah, Nisha, you are just barking orders, and
Mm-hmm.
even then, with all of the hubbub of the admins going out to do their duties, Dr. Sunita and Dr. Stormy, this is still nothing in comparison to what's going on upstairs.
And Nisha sees one piece of paperwork and the stamp that says past due. Oh. Billers, gather up.
You hear a lot of clanking and a lot of like loading of various weapons.
We got past due. Send this to the clearinghouse. Let them take care of it.
Aw, do we have to?
2 years overdue. And you see the smile that every biller gets when they're
every single person in the biller department, you don't even have to see it. This smile happens, and then like this grinning tiefling comes over and grabs it, gives you a look, and then they walk over to clearinghouse, which is like in the deep sub basement.
Tell Michelle I say hi.
Oh, she's gonna be so pleased.
Yeah, wait. Give her some of the donuts.
Oh, you know she loves these.
Yeah, they're even better.
I think in an attempt to make like a very awkward joke as to why like Leora brought you down here, Stormy, she's gonna be like, leans down so you can hear it a little bit better. And they say surgeons are bloodthirsty.
I hate this department.
You just see Nisha do like that thing, like the.
You're doing a great job, Nisha.
Hi.
Miss Smallwood to you.
Miss Smallwood. And then Lara turns to you, Stormy. What do you need right now?
I need to be in there with him. He's...
Other than that.
I just need him to be okay. He's... I don't even know.
Well, talk me through it. What happened?
He invited me to meet his parents, and you were just like, has he invited you to meet your parents yet? And I was like feeling self-conscious about that, and it's like he picked up on it. And like, you know, at first I thought he was just like, oh, I'm dating the cute falafel guy, like, but I don't know, maybe he's like, I just figured out like he's actually sweet and not just hot, and now he's gonna die.
He might, you know, we can't make any promises, but Parr and Verglis are on this. They're the best doctors in this hospital. But I don't know if they got a full workup. So what do you know about Flannery? What's his favorite thing to eat? Do you know what he eats often? Please tell me it's not just falafel.
We mostly just kind of talk about me.
Okay. Okay. When he lives, and she kind of gives you a gentle smile. Maybe change that. You are a really great topic. It's not the most helpful right now.
He asks such good questions, and like just gets me like talking about my day and how things are. And I just guess I kind of haven't ever been good at that stuff.
You can be. You got to get out of your shell a little bit with that.
On that note, Nisha, Dr. Stormy, and Dr. Sunito, you all get a ping on your sending stone. And the voice on the other end, and for some reason, all the voices on this always sound like it's coming from the bottom of a well, says, "Your presence, hello, your presence is required in Dr. Haven's office ASAP, please."
Dr. Haven.
I didn't kill anyone this week.
I'd really not go to the Haven
I'd
Maven.
rather not either, but honestly, I could use a distraction right now.
Nisha just goes like stands up like, "Fillers,
Yes, they
I'm
chorus as
getting
one.
the summons to the tower."
All right, best of luck. You can do this. Don't just remember to spit out the bones.
Oh my god.
Oh, come on, that was one time.
They all
And
cackle.
don't worry, I'll be back from the gallows in no time. Keep
All
on your
right.
duties. Make the house calls if possible.
We'll keep it buttoned down, just like you like it.
All right.
So,
Eat the donuts.
with the patient stabilized under Nurse Jacob's careful, watchful eye, and a cadre of other, Dr. Peachtree is also there, keeping an eye on things now that the patient is stable. Flannery has not yet regained consciousness. You all make your way over to the highest tower in Waterdeep General Hospital. Yes, there is a tower. And there is an elevator, because of course there's an elevator. Why would I make you walk up those stairs? Also, accessibility. That's important. So you all take unless you want to take 32 flights of stairs. I don't want to dictate your cardio to you.
No thanks.
So you all
How with
You
these
all-
knees?
get there at roughly the same time. You see each other, just the five of you. You all cluster into the elevator together. Do you bring anything with you to this meeting?
I think just like the chart for Flannery.
I got a couple of my weapons on my hip and a stim cube for fidgeting.
Gotcha.
Can I fit in this elevator with everyone else plus weapons?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And I just bring some like notes. And as we get in the
Thank you.
elevator, I like cross my arms and lean over to Dr. Parr. So the blonde intern, huh?
I think
Dr. Parr just like side eyes you and says, "I haven't the slightest idea what you're talking about."
I'm sure you don't.
is Dr. Parr with Dr. Peachtree?
I look down at you. I shoot you a glare, like a glare, and I'm just like, absolutely not.
The elevator
Sounds like
the elevator bard is just in the corner, just like on his lute, like this is awkward.
It's the song that sounds like do 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 do.
Oh no! I can do one better. It's like that generic music specifically, and I'm calling this out because I've been on the hold with Blue Cross Blue Shield for hours, and it's like, your call is important to us. Please remain on the line.
Every
Yeah,
now
I
and
love-
then the bard chimes in and is like, "Did you know Waterdeep General Hospital has
Yeah.
a pharmacy?"
Every now and
Yeah.
then, like, and you all just
I'm
turn
getting
back.
flashbacks.
Yes, we work here.
Waterdeep General Hospital cares about the staff and the patients. Visit our website to see our.
Yeah.
Every
Ding.
every
It is now
elevator in this
quiet
hospital
time.
does have a Waterdeep General Hospital bard who does
Good.
say this.
Incredible.
Amazing.
every
but
so often, Lara just like voices along with it.
we know it by heart, and it's yeah.
It's like, dude.
Everyone in the billing knows it, and they have like that Children of the Corn stare.
For a moment though, like the bard does look up at all of you, and he's this halfling. He says, "So, y'all have dates for the prom, the medical prom this weekend?"
The what?
Yeah, the medical prom. The one of the deans, his daughter wanted to have prom here, so all
having
the
a
staff's having prom.
Nisha's
I
not
look
even
at-
paying attention.
I look at Dr. Verglas. Is it required? Do we have to go?
I don't think the hospital requires it. I think I have to go.
Did you know that Waterdeep General Hospital has
I
Every
has
pull out
floor
a
there's a
gold
ding.
piece.
17 different wards?
Nisha pulls out a
Every
gold piece,
floor there's a
slips
ding.
it to the bard. 20 minutes of silence.
Takes it and puts his loot down and just sits there.
Thank you. Unless you want to invoke the billers. Quiet, please. Thank you. I appreciate it. And you see like a genuine smile. Like,
So
look, I get it.
You reach the top. The doors open. You all walk onto the landing, where you see a series of office doors. These are diagnostics. Is basically there's some testing facilities up here. There are some medical facilities as well, but a lot of the scans and whatnot are still done within the main wing of the main building. But yeah, diagnostics. These are multi-class wizard clerics. They are very much specialized in just just trying to figure out what these mystery illnesses might be. And so, given the mysterious nature of Flannery's condition, makes sense that Dr. Haven the Maven would be involved. And so you see that Dr. Maven's door is open. The door is not a traditional rectangular shape. It's a perfect square. And as you walk in, you hear a pleasantly resonating voice that's artificial in nature say, "Ah, there you are. Would you mind closing the door, please, once you're all inside?"
Nisha holds up her hand immediately on an
Yes.
alarm. I'm going to need context within 5 seconds.
You all see Dr. Haven behind her desk. She is a pink gelatinous cube with a coat kind of floating inside. and very,
Oh, I love it.
and she says, "Well, you are all here. I've assembled all of you to augment my team, given your various specialties, given the new patient that was admitted this afternoon. I believe Flannery. He makes the best falafel. Is that
That is
sufficient
correct.
explanation, Nisha?" And the voice is not coming directly. It's coming from there is suspended inside Dr. Haven, what looks like a speaker, like a and there's definitely something magical and very psychic happening that's allowing this gelatinous cube, who is femme identifying, to speak this way to all of you.
Good enough for me. But I got to get back to the department soon.
Of course, we may need to borrow your services for a while, but
Does
I'm
this
sure that
require
the billing
Louise?
possibly. We are not certain. Please take a seat. I don't really require one myself, obviously, but feel free to avail yourselves of the seating in this office. And being a person who is awkward and a cube and doesn't require a lot of seats, the seats are not, in fact, like seats. There's like one chair, but there's also like a couple of crates and like a very large teddy bear. And yeah.
Unless anyone is rushing there faster than me, I am going to sit in the chair.
You're going to have competition.
All right, I need both of you to make initiative rolls, please.
All right, let's go.
Let's PvP for chair. Let's go.
I've worked in
Ooh,
admin. I
that
am
was
petty
really
as
good.
hell.
That's a 19 from me.
13, 14, 15.
Dr. Parr beats you to the chair.
Fuck.
There are a couple of crates and a hay bale and a giant stuffed teddy bear, novelty teddy bear that clearly came from the gift shop.
Nisha just stares at Dr. Parr, be like, all right. And then just like leans against the wall.
Cool. Do the rest of you decide to take seats, or do you also do a cool lean?
I just stand.
Everyone is leaning very coolly, and I'm
Yeah.
seated.
Very attractive leaning.
No, I'm just like
Yeah.
leaning. I'm like,
God.
all right, come on, let's get going.
Okay. The
Stormy
five
sits
of
on the
you.
Lyra-
teddy bear.
The
Lyra's probably gonna go for like the medium-sized crate, not the big one. Like
You do
She's gonna
the
sit.
Backstreet Boys like album. Actually, the five of you look like a boy band cover. Does that make sense? Like an album cover where all of them are just like sitting or leaning or
Yeah, you
standing.
have the four of them that are like super hot, and then you have like the one person who's just like, why are they there?
We're looking in opposite directions. None of us is looking at Dr. Haven.
It's okay. Dr. Haven can't really look at you, so it's totally okay.
It's this kind of look from me.
So yeah, Dr. Haven the Maven, as you all know, what is was a normal gelatinous cube for a really, really long time, who then got hit with enough magic that they actually started like gaining a sense of sentience, and also a deep sense of curiosity, and also an awkward sense of compassion, which made it very as I mentioned, awkward when she was attempting to try to help the various adventurers in her dungeon. Who kept getting injured by her colleagues in various pitfalls and traps. She eventually worked her way out from the dungeon and got her medical degree and is now the head of diagnostics at Waterdeep General Hospital. So they do have a white lab coat, but it is suspended inside them, as well as other bits of medical equipment. So, yeah. And they're very sizable. They're just like, I mean, they're like a full grown gelatinous cube. So the speaker resonates again and says, I really appreciate all of you coming here on such short notice, especially given I know all of you have your own duties to see to and to take care of, but I really feel like this is. I know I've gotten the reports from various things from Dr. Parr did take a look at a copy of her notes, as well as Dr. Verglass, and this is not something that we've seen before in this city, in the history of this hospital. And I mean, we all have significant medical experience. Something like this, I'm not even certain if we should be alerting the city watch. I mean, we'll see what happens, but it could be an attack on this individual. But we're not here to sort that out. We're here to try to get Flannery well, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. Obviously, Dr. Parr, Dr. Verglass, the two most senior medical staff on the scene. Given your expertise, Dr. Parr, I know that you're a neuroscientist and a neurosurgeon, and this isn't quite your thing, but we think that your experience traveling the astral planes would probably be useful here. Dr. Verglass, you have significant experience in the field. We know that we've been doing a couple of tests with Nurse Jacobs, and he says there's a biomechanical electric aspect to this, which is why Dr. Sanito and Dr. Stormy, we have both been brought in. Of course, anything like this requires a good amount of paperwork. And Nisha, you are the best this hospital has to offer with that in mind.
Flattery.
So, it's true. And the gelatinous cube shrugs as well as they can. Schlop.
Oh.
I'm only as good as my team.
Well, if you want to choose a couple of folks to assist you in this, we will need documentation of everything that is being done, of all the trials that we're going to try to put into place in order to figure out what's happening with Flannery.
Who do you need me to persuade on the noble side to get the cash?
We actually have a sizable donation that came in from the Greenleaf family. They're one of the 76. I believe their daughter just recently had been given a prosthetic by Dr. Sunio, so their generous funds will be assisting us with this particular project.
Okay. Just to let you know, as an aside, we got a couple people who had to go to the clearinghouse.
Oh, well, Michelle will be happy about that.
You see the grin and like that. You know how like anime characters who are just like smiling, and then there's this evil aura.
Oh, I thought that was just you constantly, honestly.
Yeah.
Dr. Carr visibly checks their watch for like, how long are we gonna be here?
And Nisha's
But-
just doing it to like speed up the meeting.
Gotcha. Well, here's the thing. We're going to need you to be full-time on this for a little bit, for the next couple of days. So with that in mind, we will need you to remain at the hospital as we try to work day and night in order to figure out what has happened to Flannery and whether or not we can help solve this and hopefully prevent this from happening to others. So I'm going to, I've spoken with the head of the hospital. We would like you to return home to pick up any necessities you might need for the next couple of days. And we will need you to take residence up here in the diagnostics tower.
I think Stormy looks over at Lyra and sighs and is like, I should be honest, Dr. Maven. I do have a conflict of interest here.
I am aware of your attachment to Flannery. That being said, you are the only Tempest cleric we have on staff with the delicacy and the soft touch needed in order to really make sure that our work is as effective as possible.
Good enough for me.
But if at any point you do feel that this is overwhelming for you, please let us know. We can have Dr. Rainstorm here over from the other half of the Sword Coast.
Dr.
and
Rainstorm?
Only other Tempest cleric we can keep track of.
Absolutely not. No, I'm on this.
All right. Well, good. I will give you 3 hours in order to make your arrangements. I will see you back here in the diagnostics tower. By then, we will have Flannery moved up here.
Nisha turns around and books it out.
Lyra has just been taking notes in like a tiny like notepad.
Tiny moleskin.
You know,
Yeah.
I've got my notes, my notepad.
Shared definitely like lingered on Stormy even after like she asked that question. And is just taking notes as everyone's starting to clear out, and asks very, very quickly, Dr. Haven, I know that Flannery will be moved here. Are we to be treating this as a possible infectious disease? Should we bring items for that?
Not yet. We do not think that this is an outbreak. We have not seen anything quite yet. This is very, very new. So I do not think that will be needed, but we will certainly revise as more results come in. Wibble, wibble. She does say
wiggle
that.
after everything she says.
Yeah.
She doesn't wiggle after
Wiggle,
everything she
wiggle.
says, but she does occasionally just say wiggle, wiggle.
Oh,
Even better.
jeez.
Perfect. Okay. I guess everyone starts leaving. We all leave then.
Mm-hmm. You get back in the elevator. And yeah, you get a home scene.
Perfect.
Dr. Verglass, let's go with you first. Where do you
All right.
live in Waterdeep?
What's your address and social security number?
Yes,
Well, my address now.
for a
What's your name?
reason.
What's your sign? What's your drink?
I live actually in a full house because I cohabitate with my partner. And 2 full-time surgeons make enough money to absolutely own a very nice house.
Yes.
And I think given how, first of all, she's an Eladrin elf who almost always embodies winter. So she presents very like cold and off-putting. Given her presentation and just also how she acts at the hospital, her house is surprisingly homey. There's lots of like blankets and pillows, lots of warm colors. The light in there always looks bright and warm and happy. And the house is very lived in.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
due very much in part to your partner, Dr. Elaine
Absolutely is.
Shipshape, who is an amazingly beautiful Black human woman with she's got her hair in twists up in a bun, and she's currently on her days off of the week. Like she gets a couple of days, the rest of it you get the gist. 5 on, 2 off. She's on her 2 off, and she is just reading in a really cozy looking window nook as you walk in, and she's like, she sees you and she says, "Hey, hon, what are you doing home?"
Hello, love. Bad news. I think I'm going to have to cancel on the prom you had wanted to go to.
Oh no, I got the new shawl and everything.
And it looks wonderful on you. Really, it does. I will very much miss seeing you in it. We had an unfortunate case come across my desk today.
Can you...
Flannery, I'm
Not Flannery.
Flannery.
Oh, not
Unfortunately.
Flannery. He's such a sweet
he
boy.
He really is. And, you know, as much as I care very deeply for Stormy and Lyra, Stormy seems very happy with him these days.
Sure, she seems happy.
Right? Am I reading that wrong? I'm not. I'm not
She
great
picks up her
with...
mug of tea and just like,
See, this is why I need to run this by you.
Oh, honey,
you're the one who's good at that kind of stuff.
It's half of pediatrics is just emotional intelligence. So
yeah, there's none of that in trauma. It really is. You just go in and you get her done.
That's what I love about you. Sure, your Stormy's gonna be you. Oh, kisses. You sure Stormy's gonna be okay?
I don't know. She is going to be on the case, which is unusual.
Okay. Well, gosh, I hope they're going to be all right. Well, so you got called in.
So yes, Dr. Haven has assembled a team and has requested that I be on it. And it sounds like a 24-hour thing until we figure this out. She's asking all of us to move into diagnostics for the foreseeable future.
Oh. Do you want me to bring you cookies?
I would love to have some of your cookies.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I will definitely bring a couple of cookies and some biscotti tomorrow just to
yes, the biscotti. Yes.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if it's too much, I know you're very busy.
I mean, it's my 2 off, this is the first day of 2, so I'll be able to bring stuff in, but I don't know about the 5 on, obviously.
Sure. Oh, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Just the same way we operate on our days that coincide. It's fine. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay, I'll take care of that. Love you, babe.
Love you too.
And so she helps you put together a bag. I
take one of her sleeve shirts.
Yes. You assemble the bag, and you head out, and we zip over to Dr. Parr. Where do you live? What's that like?
So Dr. Parr, being the very well established hotshot surgeon, also makes a lot of money. I think I have like a nice like not a whole house. I don't think I ever would need that much space. I don't think Parr is the type to flaunt wealth. So I think I have like a nice apartment condo-esque situation, somewhere very close to the hospital, like the downtown area.
You live
Um,
above the sushi shop.
yeah, sure. Let's go with that. Yep. I live above the sushi place. It's this very nice like penthouse apartment kind of thing. Um, but I pretty much like I spend almost all of my time like in my office at the hospital. Um, and so I my home is very like immaculate and very clean. But I think I just grab like a couple of like changes of clothing. Um, but that's like and maybe my toiletries or whatever, but like that's about it because I pretty much like I don't need to sleep. Being an astral elf, I don't need to sleep, so I just like take grab some clothes and I walk on back to the hospital.
Nice.
Getting my steps in.
Your magical Fitbit.
Yes,
Yeah.
fantasy Fitbit.
Fancy Fitbit. Nisha.
Misha commutes from the hospital to the other side of town. They live in what's basically Waterdeep's version of affordable housing, basically in a rented house. And they have a single bedroom to themselves. They get into the house, they take off the robes, uh, takes out the hairpin, re-puts it up in a bun, just makes a quick dinner, sees the note that their 6 other roommates are out. Eats dinner, washes their face, and they're tired. A lot of the bluster and a lot of the joy from threatening nobles uh, fades away, and they're exhausted. There's dark circles under her eyes. There's a shoulder brace, a knee brace, a hip brace on the left hip, a lot of scars, and they just shrink into themselves. Incredibly tired. Goes to the bedroom that they rent, gathers their stuff, pulls out some coins, some coppers to budget out for another round of staying at the hospital. Makes sure that she has enough for the commute back. Writes a note to the roommates. I'm locking my bedroom. Do not touch anything. Please make sure my that my family are okay. And let them know I'll be at Waterdeep General. And barely like 20 minutes in the house, slings the bag up, gets the whetstone, maybe a couple of romance novels that Dr. Parr let her borrow, and brings a couple of her own as an exchange. Looks in the mirror. Okay. Okay. And her voice is tired. It's tiny. She feels tiny. And makes a quick run back to their bedroom to get her fidget cube, some sewing, and some knitting. Wipes tears from her eyes from the stress. Takes a deep breath. And walks back 4 blocks to where the cart that takes her back to the hospital and doesn't say anything.
Noted. Yeah, noted. All right. With that, we transition over to Dr. Stormy.
All right. I think Stormy's apartment is in like a nicer building. Like it's not a penthouse or anything like Dr. Parr, but it's a nicer building. But her apartment is just a mess. There's like takeout food containers open everywhere, like dirty clothes places. I'm picturing like the talking stone radio type thing has just been on the whole time, like as she comes in. I think there's still boxes from when she moved out of Lyra's that she just hasn't unpacked yet. It's been like a few months and she just hasn't touched them. And she goes and like gets a duffel bag and like smells the scrubs. Those are clean enough, and like you know, shoves them into the bag, like grabs a box of cookies, and it's like, yeah, I'll definitely need this. And I think we see her go into her bedroom, and she puts like a favorite stuffed animal there, and then sees the giant sweater that belonged to Lara, and like pulls it up and like sniffs it, and then folds it up and puts that in the duffel bag. And
I have a question.
Mhm.
Do you have anything of Flannery's in your apartment?
I I think so. I think another one of his flat caps is on the nightstand, and I think I grabbed that too, and also like take that, smell it, put that in my bag, and I think there's like a scene of her holding the sweater in one hand and the flat cap in the other. And
His absolutely massive sweater.
yeah,
This bolt of fabric that is sweater shaped.
uh-huh,
This tent that is made of wool and cashmere
uh-huh,
and a flat cap.
uh-huh. Yeah. And then she leaves, and then remembers she forgot her toothbrush, runs back in, grabs the toothbrush, puts it in her bag, and leaves again.
Does Flannery have a toothbrush at your place?
Uh, no, we're not at that stage yet.
Interesting. Cool.
Mhm.
All right, yeah. You put your stuff together and you roll on out. And last but not least, Dr. Signito.
Yeah, I think Lara lives in a home that was kind of passed down from her mother's side. So it's kind of a fixer-upper. It's about a 3-bedroom. It's decently kept, but she tends to focus more on her work for her patients. So it's not so much on what needs to be done for her space. So she kind of heads in there. She lives alone now. She's been hesitant to let her girlfriend Melanie move in ever since Stormy moved out. So that's still a space that she doesn't let Melanie into just yet. But she pets the grandpa dog that she has that hangs
Yeah,
out in
their
the
dog.
back.
He
Yep.
looks at you dolefully. His face looks exactly like at first I was thinking Morgan Freeman, but maybe not. Gosh, I'm thinking maybe who else is an adorable old man it's Ian McKellen's face. It's Ian McKellen's face on a yellow lab dog. And looks at
Perfect.
you, he's just like, "Brr."
Yeah, buddy. Just a huge mitt just pets his head and entire shoulder area. I'm gonna be gone for a bit, okay? So you can feed yourself. Please don't overeat again.
He
Um,
nuzzles your
and then
hand,
she's gonna
and then he
start.
picks up his ball and then puts it at your feet.
Oh, buddy, I gotta go. And she kind of like still picks it up and
Boof.
throws it.
And he like he just kind of does the old dog shamble.
um, I think while he's shambling, she's just gonna like rush upstairs to start putting things in a duffel bag. And then also call on her sending stone. Because I think she probably had like a dinner date with Melanie
Yeah.
tonight and is probably gonna have to cancel
Melanie
again.
picks up and is like, hey babe, what's up? just got like another 922 in the wagon. He's doing okay though.
Oh, well, that's good. Should I not be talking to you right now? Don't you have to get him to the hospital?
Oh no, he's on his way to the hospital. I mean, I'm not driving. I'm just in the back with him. You know how it is.
Is he stable?
Oh, he's stable. He's fine. We got the clams out in time.
Oh, okay. That's good. Hey, I'm so sorry. I can't do dinner tonight again.
Babe. Babe,
A patient came in.
no. Babe, what? I know why.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
I will make it up to you. Maybe we can go somewhere. Your pick next month. Maybe.
Next month, I just, oh God, he's
I
waking.
have another fitting for another client and I can't schedule that again.
Okay, fine.
She's opening up a new business.
Okay, okay, he's waking up again. Oh, wait, no, we still got one clam. Okay, I gotta go, but we are talking about this later. All right?
Sure.
Okay, stay safe.
Thanks.
All right, I
Love
need you to
you.
hold him down. Okay, I need you
Hangs up.
hangs up. Thanks.
So I think she, after that very weird conversation, she just like heaves a sigh, continues to pack her bag, and then heads to the kitchen and goes into the pantry and goes to the very tippy top shelf that's even a little bit higher than her. It's almost like a hidden shelf almost. And she pulls out Natalie, what would be Stormy's favorite tea?
Oh, I think she likes it's like a very like passion fruit, like fruity, like mixed tea, like a tropical fruit tea.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's gonna pull out like a blend of that and just
Mhm.
put a box of that in her bag as well.
Um, Amazing. Your dog comes up and drops the ball. It's covered in it's covered in saliva. It's just like move.
Okay, buddy, you know what? We're just gonna and then she's gonna like enchant it so where it'll throw itself
Boo.
for like
Just like
5 minutes.
animate object just rolls away.
Yep.
And yeah. Do you head out?
Yeah.
Okay. You head out, you all meet back in the elevator. The bard in the elevator just is like, I know. Goes back to studying like 500 amazing facts about Waterdeep General Hospital. And you all head back upstairs, where you see that there's a wing. There's a few other people who are also on the diagnostics unit. So you're not the only doctors on this. You've just been chosen because they are pure diagnostics. You all have actual like more real world expertise, whereas they're very theoretical. And so you see Flannery is set up in his own little room. There's like charts and like various bits of artificery, magical objects and artificery hooked up to him, just monitoring. He is not yet conscious, but he still appears stable. Um, and the growth on his arm has not actually like progressed quite that much. Actually, it has progressed by like an inch or two, either direction.
Nisha's just thinking to herself all the codes that run through her head of like, okay, so that's going to be this code with that modifier, and okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah. All of you are given your own offices up in the tower. It's big enough. Your own offices, and you have your own little like sleeping quarters, because this is not the first time this has happened. So you all manage to settle in, and Dr. Haven calls you into Flannery's room, and it just mentions to all of you, thanks all of you again for coming, and says, um, it seems like this is some kind of multi-layered hybrid. We've picked up a little bit of infernal off of this, but we're not something infernal, something abyssal, something along those lines. It's not certain, but it seems like so far, at least according to my dear colleague here, Dr. Whitkers, and another human nods. It seems that Dr. Whitkers has determined that this is some kind of thing, but the artificery is still something we need to figure out. We know it's not lupus. That's one thing we can definitely cross off our list. So we
You know
don't
we're
need to
getting
sponge.
tired of billing that out.
Yeah, I don't know why we keep
We're
thinking
close
it
to
might be
rioting.
lupus. I'm so sorry.
Same with MS.
It's definitely not either of those things. Yes, Dr. Stormy.
I mean, I hate to just jump to the hack and slash solution, but if we tried just could we just amputate? It's in his
Well,
arm.
have we, Dr. Whitaker, would you please demonstrate? And a halfling, she goes over to the cart, grabs a sterilized scalpel, and goes over and attempts to cut. And as soon as she does, a tendril of this metal comes out and grabs the scalpel and then pulls it into the metal patch.
That's not great.
Well, that's new.
Yep, that's that what. Yep, that's what happens each time. Dr. Whitaker shakes her head, and Dr. Haven
Okay,
says,
I'm gonna contact my team.
"Go ahead and take care of that."
And Nisha just like books it down to the billing department.
Oh, you don't need to book it down to the billing department if you don't want to. Like, there's a setup for you if you want to.
Yeah, just be like, hi.
Yes.
Ah.
Oh. All right. This is new. What code? Okay, it's a code 404. Okay, understood. It's code 404.
Get everyone up here.
All right, we will bring as many as we can. As many as will fit in the elevator. And soon enough, actually, as they say that, you hear the elevator start to click and whir, and it ascends to the very top. And then as it opens, you see sitting upright in the bed, Patricia, the ice cream vendor lady, sitting there with what looks like a brass foot. And she is surrounded by she's there with Nurse Jacobs, and Nurse Jacobs looks up and says, "I think we got another one." And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for our first session of Waterdeep Anatomy.
Ah!
Oh.
Holy crap!
It's fine.
Everything's totally fine. This is fine. You can handle this. Yeah, it's totally fine.
It's only affecting the working class. It's fine.
It's only affecting the people who bring you joy. It's totally fine.
Nisha's just like,
We pan out hearing Nisha screams from the top of the tower, diagnostics tower. With that in mind, let's go ahead and thank you so much, my wonderful cast of clerics. Let's go ahead and go around the table. Where can people find all of you? Let's start with Minnie. What are you when you're not a life-saving prosthetics making doctor?
When I am not a prosthetics ortho god, I am usually being found on Twitter and Instagram, just kind of talking about various lovely socials. Definitely doing media commentary. Right now I'm screaming about Magic the Gathering's newest set.
Oh,
and yes, it's so good. Rip grandma. Spoilers, I guess.
Oh no.
But when I'm not doing this and yelling about Mass Effect, I'm playing other TTRPGs. And the next one that I'm actually doing right now is with friends who roll dice. I am a camp counselor over at Camp Carnage, a play on thrillers and monster flicks of like the 80s and 90s, where camp teens have to survive something. So I'm over there being a scout.
Amazing. That sounds so cool. Really looking forward to that. Natalie, what's up with you?
Hi, I'm a professional game master, and you can book with our service over at charmpersongames.com. We'll run games for your parties, corporate events, bat mitzvahs, or funerals. We'll run any game. If you've got a game you want someone to run for you, we will learn the game and run it for you. If you've ever been like, I wish someone would run this game for me, we'll take care of that for you. Also, if you go over there, you can see all of our actual plays on YouTube, and you can purchase my game, Sapphic Space Pirates, a diceless, GM-less tabletop role-playing game about lesbians in space.
So cool. Love me some space lesbians. Jay, what's up? Where can we
Hello,
find you?
everybody. My name is Jay. I use they, them. You can find me on the internet at Nalawu and at Nala Draws if you'd like to see my artwork. I am a professional illustrator and art director working full-time in tabletop RPGs. Besides that, I'm also a voice actor, sensitivity reader, and cultural consultant, TTRPG content creator, and actual play stream performer. If you'd like to see other shows that I am on, I am on another 5th edition D&D game called Visions of Gold. We are playing through Call of the Netherdeep, and we have moved our stream day to Sundays at 3 p.m. We are skipping tomorrow. But we should be back on schedule, I think, next week. I am not sure. But the best place to keep up to date with all of that fun stuff is on my Twitter. I have a lot of really fun things coming up. So I am very excited for all of those projects and all that stuff. But yeah, just follow me on the socials and you'll get to stay up to date with all the random crap that I do.
Fantastic. Shears, up to you.
Hello, everyone. Don't mind me. My laptop decided to say screw you. My pronouns are they, them. I am a medical biller by day, hence why I speak from experience. I'm a streamer, dancer, photographer, jack of all trades, master of one. I'm currently over on, you can find me on Twitch as Bloodthread Shears. I'm currently creating the Sophie dress, the blue version, which is currently on my mannequin Amanda over there, and the yellow dress at the end of the film. You can find me on Twitter at pinupac87. They wouldn't let me get the full Bloodthread Shears over there. You can find me as a photographer at my website, www.differentdrumphotography.com. I'm available in the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut for bookings. And if you ever want a knitted commission, I'm open for small commissions.
Fantastic. And last but not least, Samara, what's up?
Hi, I'm
Yeah.
Samara. She, hers. I forgot to say that at the beginning. You can find me personally on Twitter at the Singing Sam, or you can watch me play some other TTRPGs. Tuesdays, I play with a group called Another Bad Side Quest. You can find them on YouTube or here Tuesdays at 6:30 on Twitch. We play a dark gas lamp fantasy homebrew long-term 5e game. It's awesome. Or you can find me on Wednesdays here on Twitch with a group called the Unlucky Rollers Podcast. That's here on Twitch Wednesdays at 5:30. Both of these are Pacific Standard Time. Or we're starting to upload our Unlucky Rollers games onto YouTube as well. And we're running Tyranny of Dragons there.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And as for me, you can find me, Michelle Rapp, doing a number of things. I am an artist, mostly with ceramics. I am also a professional GM. And I am going to hopefully be doing a couple of other projects that have not yet been announced in the works. Really crossing my fingers for those that will be coming out soon and shortly. But you can find me and my goings on I basically rant about things like Magic Gathering, D&D, and that sort of thing. On Twitter at Kilnfiend Potter. You can find my work on Instagram at Kilnfiend Pottery, where you can see all the things I like to do with porcelain and clay, which is a lot of fun and can be quite messy. I throw mud. What can I say? So, with that, you can find us if you want to know what's going on with Flannery now, Patricia the Ice Cream Lady, next week, same time, same channel, all that good stuff with this amazing cast. With that, we're going to be shortly rating Fuzka, which is a Girls Run These Worlds Dean. Basically, we're going to be rating a difficult terrain game shortly. So please stay on the line. Please hold for another amazing game on this fantastic channel. With that, I have been your dungeon mistress slash manager slash master, Michelle, and we will see all of you back here next week for Waterdeep Anatomy. Take care, friends.